Number 56, Hunter Hogan. For Desoto.
To fumble and also has had 6 tackles for losses. Cornerbacks are Josh Aubrey, the senior, and Trey Smith, the senior. Trey has a pick, and the junior Kane safety, 5'9", 160 senior, 35 tackles and an interception. And Chris Dinkins with a pick, a 6 foot 191-pound junior. Judson Hinesley kicking off for Lee from their 40-yard line as they have deferred. Kind of a high pooch kick. The DeSoto should get a pretty good job. And ball fumbles on the opening kickoff and comes loose. And I'm not sure who recovers. It is a big crowd. And Robert E. Lee, the officials go down to the bottom of the pile. That went right off the chest, and DeSoto has recovered the fumble. And that would have been a huge start for Lee. And Jimerson, by the way, is down on the bottom of that pile. And somehow somebody in green and gold came up with that recovery. And that would have been a huge, huge play. The Lee kick return special teams to start us off. For DeSoto will start at their own 29-yard line.
Yeah, they fortunately fell back on it. He rushed up, and it looked like the receiver took his eye off the ball just as it hit him right smack dab in the chest, bounded forward 4 or 5 yards, and the green-clad Eagles fell on it.
Skylar Talley was the one involved in that and almost was able to pick it up for Lee. They start with a 3-man front with Monagold on the edge, Blake Roberts on the edge, and they run Murphy on a delay off left tackle, and he's hit right at the 30-yard line. He got about 3 out to the 31-yard line. Nice job for Robert E. Lee to force him inside. He picks up 2 out to the 31-yard line and 2nd down and 8.
When Lee responds very rapidly, they're fighting right through the blocks on the first play of the ball game to make the stop quickly.
Big old number 97 is lined up on the right tight end position. Again, he is a big, and DeSoto as good looking as you're going to find in the uniforms. In the shotgun, Murphy is right next to the quarterback, Polite. Delayed of Murphy, hitting the backfield, and look out, does break a tackle out to the 35 and a tough 4-yard run for the junior, who is at now over 600 yards in the season. Randy, when they get to him, they better get him. Reggie Taylor again, back-to-back plays, a gain of 4 yards.
Yeah, he looks real slippery. He hit him in the backfield on both plays, but he's able to just wiggle free and pick up yardage, positive yardage for the Eagles.
3rd down and 4. DeSoto at their 35-yard line. They will bring Darius Terrell to the near side. In the slot is Josh Wesley. Shotgun formation from the 35, high snap. Polite wants to run the option. Hit in the backfield and drop for a loss. He does get back to the line of scrimmage, and what a play, Randy, by Blake Roberts, because it was Roberts and the quarterback, and if he isn't there, he's still running down the sideline.
Yeah, it's a very good call, and he got to him quick enough where he couldn't make the pitch to the trailing running back, Murphy, right off to the left side, the back side, off quarterback Polite, and it was just a great play by Roberts. He is able to fight through the initial block and get to the quarterback as he turns the corner.
So they get 2, they get 4, then they get 1, and they'll have to punt. Back to punt is Brandon Johnson, number 40, normally a linebacker. Darrell Tate back to field to punt if he can at the Lee 30. On the opening possession, a low snap. Johnson picks it up, and he's going to get it off anyway. And it's a squib kick that hits at the midfield spot and then rolls out of bounds at the Lee 40-yard line. In fact, at the 45. So DeSoto has had all sorts of problems with their kicking game. A low snap, and Johnson, Randy, did a great job of just getting it off. A 19-yard punt. Lee will have great field position at their 45-yard line.
Yeah, absolutely terrible snap. It bounced 2 times and went right by him. Fortunately for him and his Eagles teammates, there was not a big rush coming up from Robert E. Lee, but Lee takes over in great field position at their own 45.
Luke Wagner, the junior quarterback, coming off his best performance of his career under center. The center is Greg Holston. In motion, Darrell Tate. They hand it to Darrell, tries to get outside, and he does for a gain of 5 out near midfield, and here comes a flag at the end of the play, and Holston is the center, got wrapped up, and right off the top, here's a holding call against Robert E. Lee. Now, I got to say something, Randy and Jamie. You know, Lee's coaches are very frustrated by the trail officials calling penalties, but you know what? If it's each week, you got to wonder if maybe they're just not holding quite a bit.
Yeah, there might be some validity to that as he's pulling. He's on the linebacker, and he turns him outside. It appeared to be a good block, but he's wrapped up on him, and his hands are probably up to the backside of the defender, and the hold is called against Lee.
And really, it was away from the run. Tate had picked up 5 yards on first down out near midfield, so Here's a Lee offense that last week somehow had a drive that ended up with over 100 yards on the drive before Day Brown fumbled. And they also had the 96-yard scoring drive as well where Day scored. 1st and 20 from the 35. Good field position. Chase Wiley delay, and he'll get just a couple of yards out to the 38-yard line. 2nd down now and long as they run the delay to Wiley. They've been in that shotgun position now quite a bit, and there's a little pushing and shoving. Delonte Askew grabbed the face mask of Wiley after that play. It's now 2nd down and 18. Adrian White, the safety, also involved. Lee up front, Dunn, Martin, Holston, Yost, and Hogan. Tight ends are Franklin and Harden. Some of them, if you're not a tight end, they'll be an H-back. Darrell Tate and Joey Turner, the wide receivers. Luke Wagner lines up as a wide receiver here, and Darrell Tate is in the what they call the Rambo position. Here's the play to Wiley, and he gets knocked down for a loss of a yard on a Statue of Liberty. Dominique Bennett was there. He's a good-looking player. And they call that the T-gun when Tate is in the game. Brandon Johnson also there for Desoto and a loss of a yard. Not a very good start for the offense tonight.
No, not at all, Dave, but give credit up front. Desoto fighting right through the blocks. The play, once again, takes a couple of seconds to really develop. A little too long for Lee to try to do that misdirection against a speedy Eagle defense.
Desoto with mass substitutions defensively on a 3rd and long. K.J. Jones and Darrell Tate will split far side. Tate in the slot. Joey Turner to the near side in front of the Lee bench, and Wagner in the shotgun from the 36. He'll set up. Shotgun wants to go deep to Tate. Pass is overthrown at the 30-yard line and incomplete. Desoto wanting a pass interference as Tate ran out the back of the cornerback, Vincent Eddy. And that's one of the few times that, Randy, we've seen Lee take a shot deep downfield, so they feel like they possibly can if they give Luke any kind of time. And Lee really right there blows an opportunity on the road with great field position.
Well, it's the hole that really negates the entire drive, and they can't get off the ground. And you have man-to-man coverage. That's not a bad idea to set out Darrell Tate man-to-man because he can beat it most of the time.
Brady Jones back to punt for Lee, averaging 35.4 yards a punt. Gets rushed and kicks it straight up in the air and hits at the Lee. Now someone's got to pick it up, and Desoto does at the 34. That's a negative punt. What was that? Brady Jones had somebody flash in front of him, and I believe it was Vincent Eddy, and almost blocked the punt, or he got distracted by it. And Brady Jones, Randy, kicked that straight up in the air, and then what I thought was even worse is that that's a live ball, and nobody picked it up, and Desoto jumps on it, and they are at the Lee 33-yard line. That is a negative punt. Lusk was on the rush for Desoto that time, a minus 2-yard punt, and that's not the way to start, especially when you had the ball near midfield. Now back in the shotgun, Polite takes the handoff to Murphy, hitting the backfield, and the ball came loose, but Desoto again recovers. So 2 balls on the turf, and Desoto has recovered both of them, and a loss of a couple of yards back to the 34.
Now, he kicked it about 40 yards in the air, but it went straight up in the air.
He kicked it 40 yards straight up in the air.
Straight up in the air, and it bounced back and took a hop right back at him, and a DeSoto player landed on it.
Hudson's in the game. He does at times. He's the tight end here. Sometimes go in motion, but he can't right now because he's covered up. So 2nd down and 11 for DeSoto at their 34-yard line. Murphy right next to Polite. Polite takes the snap. Ball throws sideline. Caught by Terrell on his knees at the Lee 31-yard line on a short gain of 3 yards. Trey Smith on the stop for Robert E. Lee. 3rd down and 8. DeSoto at the Lee 31-yard line.
Both Lee ends on the pass play came at Polite, and he had to rush the pass, but he completes a little inside curl.
So Terrell down on his knees that time. Pretty good coverage, though, anyway, by Trey Smith. So 3rd down, DeSoto, just outside the Lee 30-yard line after the terrible punt. Here's the snap to Polite, jumps up, throws sideline, pass is caught at the 30, down on his knees yet again for Terrell. This is the 2nd time he's done that, and then a 0-yard pass. And on the coverage, Josh Aubrey. If he throws one of those and it hangs too much, Randy, we could see 37 take one back tonight.
That'd be a perfect opportunity to get a jump on the pass and pick it and go all the way back the other way. And looks like they're going to try. Well,
no, they're going to
go for it.
Big old 97 comes off the field. Not sure why that's an illegal substitution, but it's not called. In the shotgun, Polite. A couple of those snaps have been high. Murphy right next to him to his right-hand side. On 4th and 8 at the Lee 32. Here's a screen pass to Murphy. Tries to get outside, and he's dragged down for a loss of a yard by Austin Wilson, last week's hero. And DeSoto, you talk about wasting great field position, Randy. The Eagles just did that. They started that drive at the Lee 33, ended up at the Lee 31.
Well, obviously, from up here, they're feeling the Lee pressure from the defense. They're really negating any running game thus far. On their first 4 plays were all on the ground. They came back with a couple, 3 passes in a row and really go nowhere, just positive 4 yards on the total of 3 completions by Polite.
6:07 to go in the first quarter. No score. Second possession for Robert E. Lee. DeSoto's had it twice. Wiley's the lone setback, and Darrell Tate goes in motion. They fake it to him, to Wiley up the middle. They've given Chase Wiley the ball 3 straight times, and this time he gets nothing again. And inside, they've got a good-looking defensive tackle. Jeff Claremont, a 6'1", 285-pounder, has been extremely active, as has number 53 as well. As has 54, Junior Matkin, second down and 10.
Nowhere at all. The speed of the interior for DeSoto is very apparent. Lee's going to have to try outside again coming up.
Of course, Day Brown is not in this game right now for Robert E. Lee. Anthony Nelson now next to him. Wiley goes in motion. They give it to Chase, left tackle, and gets close to a first down and has it at the 42-yard line. Roderick Jones was there, and Randy, he comes up from the strong safety position and makes the stop, and Chase Wiley picks up 11 yards and a first down.
Well, Chase Wiley bounced off of him at the 37 and lunged forward for that first down yards, an extra 4 or 5 yards. But if the safety's not there, it's wide open green space for the running back Wiley.
So Robert E. Lee at the 42-yard line, 5:15 to go, first quarter, no score. Holston with his buddies along the offensive line bends over the ball at the Lee 42. Wagner in the shotgun with Wiley again next to him. Shotgun snap, delay to Chase, and this time again leans for about a yard out to the 43-yard line. Second down and 9. Under 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter, no score. Vincent Eddy, the corner, and Brandon Johnson, a 5'11 senior middle linebacker, on the stop for the Eagles.
1 yard gain.
Well, Lee's doing it with a little misdirection, and they're running inside the tackles on straight blast plays, but they're not getting a lot going that route. The misdirection can be successful.
Aaron Myers, a 5'11", 189-pound junior with 46 yards and a touchdown in the game, now next to Wagner. Play action, Wagner rolls near side in trouble, sacked, fumbles. DeSoto may have it. They do. The turnovers did not hurt Lee last week. They're going to hurt them tonight if they're not careful. Now we wait for the whistle. The official says it's DeSoto's football. Luke rolled right into pressure, had no chance, Randy. He's got to tuck that football away. The Eagles, Jeff Claremont, recovers, loss of 10.
Well, they swiped at his arm, and he didn't protect the ball at all. And there's that turnover bugaboo that really got him in past weeks, not so much last week or the week before in their prior 2 games. But nonetheless, once again, DeSoto takes off deep in Lee territory.
Now, they had a lot of success with that play action last week. They ran right into 2 defensive players. Matkins and Claremont have been very solid for the Eagles early in this first quarter. Lee again had the ball near midfield, and again this time they turn it over. Here's Murphy off left tackle, nothing there, maybe a foot or 2. Dragged down from behind. Patrick Howard was down at the bottom of that pile, as was Jordan Aubrey and Matt Monagold. Second down and long. But again, DeSoto for the second straight series starting inside the Lee 35-yard line. Murphy has 4 carries, 5 yards. Very quick, lightning quick running back. Polite, the quarterback, will take the snap. Pops it up in the air. Wants to throw it deep for Terrell. One-on-one coverage. C.J. Johnson caught. Touchdown, DeSoto. C.J. Johnson had great position, and Randy Terrell just jumped up. C.J. mistimed the jump, 31 yards, touchdown.
Yeah, that's a perfect point. A beautiful pass by quarterback Ryan Polite, and he turns out to his big wideout, Terrell, and he makes a catch over the top of Smith for 6.
He had exactly where you would want him if you're defensive coordinator Randy Huffstickler, but for whatever reason, C.J. just lost control of it that time, and Terrell, a good-looking 6'3 receiver, made the catch. Touchdown. It was a beautiful throw by Polite. Here's the freshman kicker. Eccles, kick is up. Hits the crossbar and no good. They have had problems all year long, DeSoto has, in kicking the football. That's his first kick as a varsity player. DeSoto, 6. Robert E. Lee, nothing. 3:44 to go in the first quarter. Back in a minute on News Talk 600, KTBB. Back at Eagle Stadium in DeSoto, Texas, Eagles in their green and gold, leading Robert E. Lee 6-0 on a beautiful throw from Polite to Terrell. Terrell's a guy that's a junior, and he likes the University of Texas, and they probably like that highlight if they see it at some point down the road. Here's Eccles with a very good kickoff, but it might go out of bounds. Nope, hits inside, and Lee's got to pick it up inside the 5, and Darrell Tate breaks a tackle, now wants to go around the other side, and is knocked down at the foot line.
Number 15, Darrell Terrell, returning the kickoff. For
The kick hit inside the Lee 5, looked like it was going to bounce out of bounds. Darrell Tate picked it up and tried to go the opposite direction, and it's dragged down, and that almost was a safety. And we know what happened last week to start the second half with a ball that was fumbled in the end zone, and that was very eerily similar to that same play. And Lee down 6-0, Randy, and they have the ball at the 1 foot line.
Well, I tell you what, this team is, I mean, there's no other way to explain it. They're a little snake bit on returns. They just really are.
Day Brown has checked in. They did not want to have to play him tonight if possible because of that injury to the shoulder last week, but he does check in here in the I formation. Wiley takes the handoff, and I don't know if he got out of the end zone. Did he?
Yeah,
got about a yard, that's
one.
it. They have tried the center. Listen, Jeff Clermont, guys, he's not going anywhere.
They're not pushing him back at all. He's big old stud up the middle, and Lee's going to have to get outside, it looks like, to open up the middle.
And that's
the
not going to be easy against this team either.
No, they're speedy.
Because of their speed on the perimeter. Nick Harden has checked in at tight end for Robert E. Lee, and coming out is Darrell Tate. And Darrell looks like he's got a little giddy up at him. And that's the second straight time that he's had some danger down near the goal line on a kickoff return. Play clock is now at 2. Play at 1. They do get it off. They go to Day Brown on the outside, and he will get maybe a foot or two. And boy, I tell you what, DeSoto's defense right now is winning the battle of the line of scrimmage. 2:48 to go. 3rd down and 9, and the Red Raiders at their own 2-yard line.
Well, the Red Raiders just can't find an answer, can't get enough of a push. They moved about a full yard from where they started this current possession, right up against the goalpost.
Yeah, they had that thing. The ball, basically the back end of the ball, almost resting on the white line. And again, there's only 12 seconds left in the play clock, and they're just now getting in the huddle. So a little bit shaky here early on with a 6-0 deficit. Tate near side. High formation, Day Brown up the middle, Chase Wiley, but just short of a first down at the 10-yard line. In fact, the mark on the near side is going to be the 9. They do give him the 10, but he's a yard short, and Lee's going to have to punt, and their last punt was -3 yards. So have they picked up a first down? Yes. The Wiley had an 11-yard pickup, a gain of 7 that time for Chase Wiley. Chase Wiley has 7 carries. The entire team has 9. Minute 50 to go in the first quarter. Here's a player now running off at the very last second. That is Monagold for Robert E. Lee. And I don't know if they have enough players in the game on this punt. Here comes a snap, and they get it off this time. Jones with a nice line drive punt that is caught at the Lee 45 and knocked down at the 40-yard line. Better job by Brady Jones, and he had pressure again, and DeSoto's coming after the punt. And Murphy with a nice 6-yard return after a 36-yard punt. And for the 3rd consecutive drive, DeSoto, already up 6-0, starts a drive inside the Lee 40-yard line.
Well, it's really time the Lee defense is going to have to make a play to help the offense out, so to speak. They're going to have to make a play and see if the playmakers can come out and get a turnover right back.
Well, right now, Robert E. Lee has got to be concerned about the matchup. Terrell, the wide receiver, the good-looking 6'3 junior, has had 3 catches already, including the 31-yard score. And he is a good-looking player on the near side. Murphy and Webb now both running backs in the game next to Polite at the 39-yard line. They run Murphy on the near side. Not much room to go. In fact, he's hit at the 41-yard line by Jordan Aubrey and loses 2 yards. Nice picture-perfect tackle for the senior Bandit.
Well, that's a start. They're playing the run very, very tough, Robert E. Lee does, and just so much speed they have on their defensive side of the ball in order to pressure Murphy, and he can't find any footing either inside or out.
He would have been tackled by whoever else was around it, but Jordan just said, I'll just take care of this myself, and a little Chuck Bednarik picked him up and jackknifed him. Now this time Polite under center. He'll roll to the near side. He's got room to run if he wants to. Now he does, and Blake Roberts chases him down, as does Monagold, and a gain of just a couple of yards inside the 40, down to the 38, gain of 3. Well, they made up some ground, Randy, because it looked like Polite had the corner, and those 2 kids, Roberts and Monagold, are playing some football in the middle linebacker spot.
Yeah, the pressure outside forced him to tuck it and run, but give credit down the field on the coverage at time. Josh Aubrey with great man-to-man coverage. They were looking to the far side of the field for the one wide out, and he could not find him, and Supplied had to tuck it and get a short gain.
Aaron Hyder checks in. Hudson, the tight end, goes now far side. DeSoto needs a timeout. They got guys going everywhere. And Looks like they might have about 13 of them at that. Claude Mathis, the head coach, is upset. Their offensive coordinator is Todd Peterman. So, with 48 seconds to go in a rapid-moving first quarter, the lead defense is trying to hold down 6-0. We're back in 30 seconds on KTBB. So Robert E. Lee, after a very impressive win on the road last week at Mesquite, on the road tonight, just around the corner in Desoto, and down 6-0. DeSoto faces 3rd and 9 from the Lee 38-yard line. And after a 3-and-out on their first possession, DeSoto goes 3-and-out on their next possession, and then they throw the long pass to Terrell on the third possession, right, Randy, for the touchdown of 31 yards.
That was 2 plays, yeah.
And this is 3rd and 9 at the Lee 38 here. The center for DeSoto has it at the 48 in motion. Murphy, Polite the quarterback. Murphy stops right there on the edge. Polite, here's the blitz. Does he get around the corner? Throws it. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. It came from the line judge on the near side after Polite broke the pocket. Now the official looks at the other side, and it is illegal shift against DeSoto. That was an incomplete pass.
That was on Murphy. He came in motion, and he just turned 1 foot right before the ball was snapped upfield. But the official on this side didn't throw the flag until the play was at a 3 count, moving in motion. And he threw the flag because he probably thought he should have. He might have had Mike Owens in his ear as well.
So 3rd down now, 4th and 9 after the incomplete pass, and they'll bring in Johnson, the punter. So the special teams early on with the 0 negative yardage punt, and also a return out to the 1 foot line.
And punt formation for
no one's even back to field the punt for Lee here, as Johnson will take it at around midfield. Here's a snug, going to fake it. They are going to fake it. Polite's the up man. Throws it deep, has a man wide open. Pass dropped at the goal line. Oh, Lee got lucky, but here's a flag on the far side, and it might be defensive holding against Robert E. Lee. They throw it to the up back. Polite, a deep pass and wide open. 29 dropped it at the goal line, but there's a flag on the far side of the field holding against the lead defense, and DeSoto will get an automatic first down. First of all, it should have been a touchdown. Then you get a first down on the penalty, and Lee right now, oh boy, are they not playing a very smart first quarter.
Yeah, you're right about that, and they're not having any break go their way whatsoever. And they actually played it smart. They kind of figured they might fake it, and indeed they did, but there was absolutely no pressure on Polite. He had a 6 or 7 count to throw the football, and somebody had to come in after him, and no one did.
Well, here's the other thing, Randy, is they obviously felt like DeSoto was going to fake it. There was nobody back deep to punt, to field it, right?
Right.
So they knew they might fake it, and they still had a couple of guys running free. So that's a special teams issue again. Murphy in motion near side, trip receivers this way. Snap to Polite at the Lee 28 now. He'll go deep over the middle, pass incomplete. Nope, dropped by Murphy. Thought it was going to go over his head. He made a nice diving attempt, but falls down and drops it inside the 10. He has a nice throw by Polite that time. He's got some confidence here early in this game.
Well, apparently now DeSoto has decided, well, you know what?
We're going to wing it away.
We're going to wing it away, and we're going to beat them deep because they're stopping us on the ground, and then they'll probably surprise us coming up here with a nice pitch out and on a sweep or something.
38 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Eagles up 6-0. They have had the ball now inside lead territory the entire first quarter. Polite again in the shotgun. High snap over his head, bounces around, picks it up, now in trouble, now throws it, and there's a flag down, incomplete at the Lee 30-yard line. This is almost somewhat circus-like, and now the head linesman will come on and tell the official there's an illegal, I believe, shift again against DeSoto. There's a flag on the far side. Illegal shift against DeSoto yet again. So every time they put Murphy in motion,
he's turning upfield too quickly.
So that would be another incomplete pass by Polite. And what Lee's going to have to do, quite frankly, Randy, is on one of these bad snaps, they're going to have to just get a lucky bounce and somehow blow up Polite. Somebody picks it up. But right now he's been able to make the play. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 10 at the Lee 28-yard line with 31 seconds left in the opening quarter. DeSoto's up 6-0. Murphy will move to his left. Triple receivers with Terrell to the near side, and he is the wide receiver. Polite, back to throw. No pressure. Deep sideline. Pass. Incomplete at the 20-yard line. Great coverage by Aubrey, who yanked on the jersey of the intended receiver and it's 4th and 10. How many fourth downs have the Eagles had here in the first quarter?
This will be their third one upcoming, and they obviously went for it on the first one, and then they faked the punt on the second one, and this is their third one.
Josh Williams, who recovered that fumble against Lufkin in the opening game, comes in for Patrick Howard as a pass rusher. And DeSoto, Lee's just trying to weather the storm in the opening quarter. 4th down again at the Robert E. Lee 30-yard line. Just inside the 30 at the 28. Snap to Polite. Blitz comes, steps up, deep sideline. Caught, first down, Terrell. Right now, nobody can handle him. Nobody can handle him. Trey Smith is there, but on 4th down, another conversion. Remember now, this drive continued, a gain of 12 because of the holding call on 4th down against Robert E. Lee.
That's correct, and now that's 2 consecutive 4th downs they've converted with the penalty giving them their first, and this one's a beautiful pass on the sideline.
That ball was in the air for a long, long time, but Terrell ran a great pattern. DeSoto in total command, even though it's 6-0. They flip it back to Murphy, tries to get outside, does turn the corner, breaks a tackle, inside the 10, now to the 5-yard line. The best thing that can happen to Lee right now is for the first quarter to end. Dinkins makes the stop, and he broke 2 tackles and got down to the 8-yard line, and a gain of 8 yards for Murphy, longest run of the game.
He was
10 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
He was able to wiggle free. He should have been hit in the backfield or along the far flank out in the flat, but they couldn't get to him. He just slid on through and picked up a nice gain on first.
10 seconds to go. Clock stopped. He got out of bounds. Rolling to his right. Polite. Flag is down. It looks like a holding call. Polite throws in the end zone. Man wide open. Caught. Touchdown. Hyder. Josh Wesley, but a flag and holding against DeSoto with 2 seconds to go. But yet again, Randy, the problem, though, is somebody was running free.
Wide open in the back of the end zone. He was jumping up and down, waving for Polite to throw him the football, and he finally did. But Lee's going to catch a break here.
Big break.
And back up the Eagles. Their first official penalty of the game. They've had the two false starts, and they were negated by Lee. But once again, DeSoto now is their first penalty of the game.
They have how many plays, and when we get to the quarter, check this out. I know you got it. How many plays have they run inside the Lee side of the field? I bet it's been about 15 or 18 plays. Here's a flag down. Something's got to be thrown for an illegal substitution. DeSoto literally has 7 or 8 players running on and off the field, and I don't think they know where they're supposed to be, but they do know this. They're up by 6. 6-0. They called timeout now. They say they called timeout before the flag. And so still 2 seconds to go in what is a bizarre first quarter. Jamie, try to summarize what you've seen down at field level.
Well, a lot of issues, to say the least, for the Red Raider football team, David. Complete confusion from the offensive side of the football. And although the Red Raider defense hasn't given up a ton of points so far, you got to be scared with the fact that they are spending so much time on the football field right now. They are definitely going to get wore down if they stay out. The league really needs to get that offense going just a little bit. You see Day Brown coming back in. Field position has obviously been a problem for the Red Raiders early on, but he's just something good to happen here. Get them some good field position, and maybe they can use their complete play calling abilities after that.
And if you mentioned that a minute ago, DeSoto has run 17 offensive plays in the quarter, and 14 of them have been inside the Lee 40-yard line.
That's kind of almost insane.
Yeah,
right?
It is. And if Lee can somehow stop them here and just hold them to the first touchdown, that would be quite a feat for the defense.
2nd down and 11. Trey Smith is going to have to go man-to-man with Terrell. Murphy goes in motion far side and stops. Polite back to throw. Here comes the middle blitz. They set up the screen. Pass is caught. Somehow down inside the 10, and another flag is down. They brought the blitz that time. The pass was caught down inside the 10. Junior Kane was there, but another flag comes down from the head linesman, and the referee, Meeks, will now say another illegal shift. My goodness. That is the 3rd illegal shift or formation against DeSoto in the last 6 plays. And that cost them 5 more. Remember now, they scored, got called back because of holding, and now 5 yards here for an illegal shift. And that's the end of the first quarter. You can't end on an offensive penalty. You couldn't if it was a defensive penalty. At the end of a bizarre and wacky opening quarter, Lee is trying to hold on for their lives on the road. Down 6-0 at DeSoto. Back in 1 minute on KTBB. Back at Eagle Stadium in DeSoto, Texas, 6-0. The home team is up over Robert E. Lee. And the Eagles with second down from the Lee 22-yard line. Let's try to summarize what happened. DeSoto went 3 and out. Lee had great field position after a bad snap on a punt, but DeSoto was able to kick the ball down to the Lee 45. Lee went 3 and out. DeSoto then got a break when Lee had a punt that went backwards, literally hit backwards, and they went again, didn't score there, but eventually took advantage of great field position. Polite back to throw, pump fake, rolls right, Terrell's in the end zone. Polite runs to the near side. He's going to throw it downfield, tipped in the air, and out of bounds, incomplete. Tipped by Josh Aubrey at about the 25, and Blake Roberts hits Polite as he throws it. And for once in the last 5 or 6 plays against the DeSoto offense, there are no flags. It's third down here.
Well, he is scrambling, running for his life. He went right after the pump fake, came back near side, had a couple of good blocks from his offensive lineman, then threw into a little bit of a crowd. And fortunately for them, it was tipped up out of bounds.
So it's third down and 16. Polite with Murphy next to him. Now watch Antoine Jimerson. They're in a stacked position on the right side, and Murphy's that way as well. Near side, it is Josh Wesley. High snap to Polite. It hits. He picks it up on a nice bounce. Throws it out of bounds on the near side, and no flag because he might have been outside the pocket, Austin Wilson. And yet again, a Tony Romo-esque bounce for Polite, because if that thing goes left or right or stays in the ground, Robert E. Lee's running for a touchdown.
And Leaf notices it just after it bounces off his hands, and guys that were going to go back into coverage all of a sudden came in, and Roberts really and Wilson really pressured him rather quickly, and he threw the ball past the line of scrimmage too, David.
Yeah, he did. It was the right call. I mean,
yes.
He made the smart decision. He was outside the tackle. Here comes the freshman, Bryson Eccles. He missed the extra point. He's got plenty of leg here. This is a 39-yard field goal attempt. Snap is up. The kick is blocked. And it's picked up. Nope. Lee misses it the first time, and Junior Kane would have had a chance to return that for a touchdown. He missed it. Trey Smith blocked the field goal, and Junior Kane recovers at the DeSoto 30, at their own 30-yard line. If he makes the swipe initially, Randy, he has a chance to score on that play.
That's very, very possible, but he took his eye off the ball, looking up the field and bobbled it. Was able to recover anyway, pick up another 5 yards to put Lee in motion on offense. But a great defensive stand by the Red Raiders on that one, and they kept DeSoto off the board.
Man, oh man, what a strange turn of events we've seen throughout that first quarter. Lee will take this over at their own 30. Darrell Tate goes in motion. They run Chase Wiley again up the middle, and he churns it out for about 2 or 3. And Chase Wiley now has 8 of the 10 carries for Robert E. Lee on offense, trying to keep it away from Dede. You can see, Randy, Dede's got some different shoulder pads on tonight. He had the shoulder injury. Brandon Johnson makes another stop for DeSoto, and Lee picks up 4 yards.
Yeah, that's tough yardage inside, grinding right off the right guard behind Yost. He's able to pick up a short gain.
Second down and 6. Robert E. Lee has run one deep pass. It was incomplete. Here's Wiley again off left tackle. Nothing. Maybe a yard out to the 35-yard line. Third down and 5 at the 35-yard line. They faked it to Dede, and right now DeSoto's not even taking the fake because they don't think Dede's going to carry it. He has the one carry for 1 yard down near the 1 yard line when they were just trying to get out of the end zone. Joey Turner far side. Robert E. Lee down 6-0. Offense is trying to, I guess, get out of hibernation would be the best way to put it. Darrell Tate in that T-gun formation. They run the reverse, and Dede Brown's in big trouble. Here's a flag down, so it doesn't matter. He lost 4 yards. The algorithms aren't working tonight right now. It's Brandon Johnson, number 40. He's playing himself again. It's a holding call against Lee, I believe anyway, minus 3 or 4 yards, and they're lucky they didn't get fumbled on the handoff on the reverse. Oh,
well, I'll tell you what, the DeSoto Eagle defense has way too much speed to buy any kind of long developing play, and Lee's taking seemingly forever to run those misdirections and reverses, and that's just not going to work, guys.
From the 32-yard line, and Dede actually, I think, maybe got a yard on that reverse, somehow got back to the line of scrimmage. So here comes the punt team in. We've said that quite a bit early in this game. As sharp as the offense was last week at Mesquite, it's complete opposite early on in this game tonight on the road, down 6-0. Here comes DeSoto. They got everybody's ears pinned back. Snap to Jones. Here comes the rush. Gets it off end over end. Murphy will catch it his 28-yard line. Looks for a wall. at the 30, turns the corner, and gets run out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Little pushing and shoving at the end of that play with Chase Wiley involved. A 37-yard punt, 9-yard return. That's a heck of a play, Randy. Did you see how Murphy caught the punt? Because if he doesn't, that thing's rolling backwards and backwards, and Trey Smith makes the tackle at the 37.
Yeah, he stayed right with it, took a couple steps back, and fielded it at his chest level.
37-yard punt, 9-yard return.
And then he is able to cut back to the right side to try to find his wedge blocking or his line to block for him, and he's able to pick up a nice gain on the return.
Based on what we've seen so far with the Lee offense and special teams, the Lee defense might be the one that has to score to get this thing unclogged. 6-0 DeSoto, 2 minutes into the second quarter. Under center, Polite this time with a double tight end set from the 38-yard line. They run Murphy up the middle, bounces outside, dragged down, nice tackle by Josh Aubrey, and a gain of maybe a foot or two. Neither team has run the ball well. The longest run for DeSoto is 8 yards, and the longest run for Robert E. Lee is 11. And it's 2nd down and 9. Murphy with 7 carries for 12 yards.
Well, Lee defense, though, is going to have to be, as you mentioned, the thing that really helps out the offense quite a bit, and see if they can get a turnover deep on the DeSoto side of the field. 2
receivers far side, Polite. They run a counter trade to Murphy, hitting the backfield and loses 4 yards. Back to the 34-yard line. Blake Roberts felt like the ball came loose, but Murphy, Austin Wilson was there to make the stop. What a big game he had last week against Mesquite. And a loss of 3 back to the 34-yard line.
Well, what Lee has to watch out for is that pass play to number 5. And, of course, he's out there on an island. Trey Smith or C.J. Johnson's way out on the far end side of the field on number 5 here.
Well, he's a good-looking player,
yes,
man.
He is.
He's a good one, that number 5 for DeSoto. Polite, play action, bootleg near side, steps up. Wilson makes him throw it, caught at the 38-yard line and out of bounds. But very, very short of well short of the first down. Hudson made the catch, but that's a 3-yard pickup, and Lee's defense has stopped and forces DeSoto into a punt.
From their own end of the field, no less, and that's just a great defense, 3 and out, and they needed that. Let's see if they can make something happen on special teams, either with a good return or quite possibly some pressure on a potential bad snap if we see it again.
Back to field the punt. Ben George, Darrell Tate now is not back to field the punt for Lee. George had a very nice return earlier this year in the game at Abilene. Here's the snap, good one to Johnson. Pressure, line drive punt, hits at the Lee 40 and goes sideways down to the 35 and dribbles down close to the 30. There was nothing he could do about that one, and it will stop at the 29-yard line. Yep, this is a night where the defense gave up the one play, but the defense can't play much better considering the field position, and now a flag is down on the far side of the field from the head linesman. 34-yard punt by Brandon Johnson. We've seen a lot of punts tonight and haven't seen any of them turned over. And now we just let the officials coach. The referee is Meeks from the Dallas chapter. Personal foul against Robert E. Lee.
Personal foul against Tyler.
That's just sloppy. That's just your offense is not moving the ball. Your defense just right there, Randy, gave you good field position, and you'll start the drive inside your 20-yard line. In fact, maybe down inside your 15. Yeah. Can't do that. You cannot do that to win championship football.
That's a big one, 15-yard. That's 3 for 35 now against Lee in the ball game. You mentioned that. They're on their way to having a 9 or 10 penalty game once again. That wasn't a problem until last week, and then all of a sudden, bam, last week's explosion, and this week they've really got to get a hold of that.
Turner far side from the right hash. Lee at the 14-yard line, trailing 6-0 with 8:44 to go in the second quarter. Doug Franklin, the H-back, goes in motion. They run Chase Wiley off left tackle. He's out close for about 2 or 3, and that's about it. Zachary Orr, the junior linebacker, makes the stop for Robert E. Lee up front. Dunn, Martin, Holston, Yost, and Hogan. And right now they're not making many hauls. Neither is Franklin, the H-back. And it's 2nd down and 6 for Robert E. Lee at the 19-yard line.
They got to come up with something to open the field up. I don't know how you're going to do that other than just making better blocks and better execution from your backs and your quarterback as well.
Chase Wiley has 32 yards on 10 carries. Brown has the 2 carries. Luke Wagner split near side, and they go to that T-gun formation. Wiley goes in motion. They snap it to Darrell Tate. He wants to keep it. He does. out close to the 25, but well short. Maybe short of the 25. Now they give him a pretty good mark. It might have a first down. He does. Boy, and he's one of those, just like Murphy is for DeSoto. He just needs anything. If he can make the first man miss, Randy, he can go whatever you want to go, 50 yards or 40 yards or however far you have to go. He gained 5 yards and 6 yards in the first down. That's his first official carry tonight for Darrell Tate. Wagner back in the game. K.J. Jones split near side. In motion, Tate. They give it to Darrell, tries to turn the corner, gets it out, 30-yard line, breaks a tackle, out near the 40 and another first down. No flags, and a gain of 15. Let him play. Vincent Eddy makes the stop.
Well, that might be your answer to opening the field up is Darrell Tate, and his speed. Boy, he came around the end. Didn't take him any time at all to cut back inside with a nice gain into the secondary of the DeSoto Eagles.
K.J. Jones in the game, out of the game for a play or two. Darrell Tate checks out. Mosley far side. Tight end is Harden to the near side. Double backs. Day Brown gets the handoff, and he tries to spin away. He's in trouble. Still not down. Now, spun down at the 38-yard line, and in fact back inside the 40 to the 35, and a loss of 5, and guess who it was? 79, Jeff Clermont, and he is not only making plays, Jamie, he's making people realize he's making plays. He is dominating this game.
Yeah, David, he's just beating inside pressure. And I'll tell you what, Lee has got to find a reason. And Day really needs to tuck the ball and go down when he sees he's got 8 or 9 green shirts in his face.
2nd and 15, long distance here. Wiley next to Wagner in the shotgun. Takes the snap, rolls left. Sets up, sideline, pass, dove. Tate dives forward at the midfield marker and well short of the first down, incomplete. Adrian White was there. But that ball, if that's a little bit underthrown, could have been picked off anyway. And I'll tell you right now, the passing game last week was so crisp and really had Mesquite sometimes confused. DeSoto is all over. I'm talking about in a good way. If you're a defensive coordinator, they're not being fooled by anything tonight.
They're making coverage, and they're putting just enough pressure to rush Luke Wagner. And as we saw the turnover earlier in the game, it caused that.
Steven Reagan checks in. Lee with 4 wideouts. Luke Wagner back to throw. Sets up over the middle. Caught Tate 50. Stays on his feet, 42-yard line. There's a great job by the offensive line in protection. Dunn, Martin, Holston, Yost, and Hogan, and Franklin gave him time that time, and a nice throw on the crossing pattern in a gain of 23 yards, first down. If he stays on his feet, he scores. Jamie Lent, really nice throw by Wagner.
Yeah, great blocking up front by the offensive line guys, and a nice job by Luke of stepping up into the pocket, finding his man cutting across the middle. If he doesn't trip over the 50, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, that 50 leads the league in tackles. From the DeSoto 42, their best penetration. Day runs the fake reversed and runs right into a safety and loses a couple of yards. He just doesn't have that explosion. He's got that shoulder, and you can tell Roderick Jones was there. Nobody fooled by that, and a loss of 2 yards on the play back to the 43-yard line. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. DeSoto leading 6-0 against Robert E. Lee, and the Red Raiders are trying to make something happen at the DeSoto 43. Boy, that was a huge first down, if anything, to show Robert E. Lee they could get it done. 4 receivers set. Holston in the center at the DeSoto 43, shotgun to Wagner. He'll take the snap. Here comes the blitz. Hit from behind, and somehow holds on to the football at the 50-yard line. And what a nice play from the backside by Dominic Bennett and Byron Hudson. Nobody saw him. Loss of 8. They're going backwards again.
Well, that's the risk you take when you play a pretty fast defense. You want to throw the ball. The protection broke down that time, and fortunately Luke was able to tuck it and not lose possession of the ball.
He took a
big
shot,
loss.
too, boy.
Yep.
I'm telling you, he took a shot. Chase Wiley and Nick Harden are back in the game. Day Brown is also in the game, and Wagner will take the snap. Lee's already back in their own territory again at the 49 after a beautiful throw to Tate. They've gone loss of 10. Draw play to Day Brown up the middle, 40-yard line, leans down inside the DeSoto 40 for a nice gain of 13, but well short of the first down at the 38-yard line. They need the 32.
Yeah, they do. And what do you do here? Do you go in and rely on your defense and try to make something happen? But now they're sitting on the punt team. Just as I was thinking they might go for it because their defense has played so well, they're going to pin them back and try to make a play here as the half is winding down.
Brady Jones in the game, and Robert E. Lee looks like Chase Wiley goes up near the line of scrimmage and calls out a certain protection. Snap to Jones. No pressure this time, and a nice punt. air rockets it near the goal line. It depends on the bounce. No, it doesn't, because it goes into the end zone. And the one time Brady would like to have had maybe more of a wobbler, that's a heck of a punt, but he airmails it, and Lee that time gets a net of 38 yards, and Desoto gets the ball back at their 20. 4:13 to go in the opening quarter, and the Eagles lead on the one touchdown pass from Polite to Terrell from 31 yards out. A net of 18 yards. You're right, Randy. 38-yard punt, but they take over at the 20-yard line.
That's the time to make a play for the Lee defense and try to make something happen to get their team on the board. Another 3-and-out quickly and set them up on their side of the field.
This year they have already participated in the Mesquite marching band.
Two receivers, one each direction. DeSoto at their own 20. They run the counter to Webb, and he gets back to the 20-yard line. Nothing there, and all sorts of Red Raiders. Roberts and Monagold at the bottom of the pile. Also is big number 43, Reggie Taylor. Taylor makes the stop. Boy, he is a good-looking player, having a heck of a year. 33 tackles and the one sack. 6'1", 217-pound senior. We talked about Monagold, the big play. Roberts right there involved in numerous tackles, double-digit for both of them week in and week out. Webb got nothing. Second down and 10. 3:42 to go, second quarter. DeSoto at the ball at their own 20-yard line. Polite back to throw. Sideline pass. Caught by Terrell. Drilled by Aubrey. Gain of 6 yards. Third down and 4. Good throw. Good catch. He's a big receiver.
He's big time and big, just a junior. Polite, just a sophomore, just throws a rope. And if Lee can respond and pick up on that a little quicker, that one wasn't as a floater as he's had earlier in the ball game, but they can come up and pick that one off.
3 minutes and just over 3 minutes left here. Polite looks to the sideline. This is a big third down. This is a possible field position play. Webb and Murphy are both in the game as DeSoto goes offset eye to the right. From the right hash, they run it to Murphy, and he's not going to get the first down. Now Lee needs to call timeout here to save some time, and they do with 2 minutes and 50. The clock is still running down to 2:53. A couple of ticks went off. Reggie Taylor was there. I don't understand. The DeSoto, when they had a chance, it seems like to maybe get to this very good defense, it was throwing the football.
Yeah, one big play.
I mean, I'm talking about down the field. The little stuff usually is not going to affect this team. They're too quick.
Yeah, and both teams are having trouble on third down. DeSoto is now 0 for 6, and they're 2 of 4 on fourth down. Lee is 1 for 5. So neither team having a good game whatsoever on the third down tries. But this is a time Lee needs to watch out to see if DeSoto tries some trickery or they go and punt the ball and pin Lee back and dare the Lee offense to make something happen.
Polite has thrown for 57 yards. 7 of 14 for 57 yards and the touchdown to Terrell. Murphy has 9 carries for 9 yards. DeSoto has 13 yards rushing, but if you look at the Lee offense, they have 44 yards rushing right now and 23 yards passing. Ben George is back to field the punt for the Red Raiders, back at his own 40. Brandon Johnson is back to punt. He's had punts of 19 yards, which was a great 19-yarder because he had to run back and get the snap, and one for 34 as well. And because of that fake punt early, if you're Lee, you got to be careful, but you bring the kitchen sink and maybe go for one if you get a good snap, and he did. Johnson, high punt, straight up in the air. George is going to let it hit at the DeSoto 45, and it bounces sideways, and Eddie downs it at the DeSoto 47-yard line. The punting tonight has not been all district performance.
By any stretch, yeah, it's true.
And Lee, Randy, with 2:45 because they called the timeout and they have 2 more left, has great field position if they can just do something with it. If they come out of this at halftime with a lead,
that would be,
with all the bizarre things that have happened, it would be almost uncanny.
It'd be credit to their defense because the defense is you really can't play any better than they played. The Lee offense had a little bit of motion on that last drive to see if they can take up and make something positive happen again.
Mosley far side, triple set that way as well. K.J. Jones to the near side and Wagner in the shotgun. Luke Wagner takes the snap, rolls to his left. Steps up, now wants to run, has some room at the DeSoto 45, dragged out of bounds at the 40, and that should be a horse collar. It is. And see, that's what I like about Luke that time. He's not going to outrun anybody. Picked up 6 yards in the play, but they had to grab him by the back of the neck, and that's a 15-yard penalty. Brandon Johnson, who's made a bunch of tackles that time, went to the horse collar, and Lee will have the ball inside the 30 now.
That's a big break, but you got to give credit to Luke. That's the first time this year that I can recall him running out of the pocket for positive yardage, and he did that. Very heady play. He saw his wide receivers were covered downfield. He tucked it and ran, and DeSoto makes a mistake on defense, and Lee now has the opportunity, David, as you mentioned, to take the lead into half.
At the 25-yard line of DeSoto, this is obviously their deepest possession into DeSoto territory because they really haven't had many at all. Mosley and Tate far side. Tate the slot receiver. Joey Turner and KJ Jones to the near side. Jones is the wide receiver, Turner in the slot, and he wants somebody to come in motion. Nobody does. Wagner sets up the screen to Day. He's got blockers downfield. 25-20 inside the 15. Spins away down to the 13-yard line. Gain of 13 yards and a first down. Roderick Jones was there. I think, in my opinion, I may be wrong, but Lee may have had a couple of players downfield a little bit early, but you know what? They got away with it first down at the 12.
That's all that matters, and that's really a very well executed screen pass play because Luke sold the defense on. He pump fake, and he found Day right outside the left side of the flat. He makes the catch and picks up another first down.
By the time that Luke takes the snap at the DeSoto 12-yard line, there'll be under 2 minutes to go in the opening half. 6-0 DeSoto. This is a play, reverse to Tate, gets a block at the 10, at the 5, near the goal line, down at about the 3. Adrian White saves the touchdown for the Eagles. If they can avoid the penalty, they have a chance to punch it in. 9 yards in the play, and it's second down and a yard.
Now that reverse was very, very quickly and crisply run, and that you have to attribute that to the speed of Darrell Tate.
Who threw the block downfield? Somebody threw a great cut block down at about the 15-yard line. Glasky is in the game, along with Patrick Howard in their Rambo formation. 2 players go in motion near side. They flip it back to Day. Lead block at the 5. He will score. Touchdown, Robert E. Lee. Jamie Lent, they had too much on the edge. DeSoto couldn't stop it.
Play right, David. Great job blocking out here on the front side. Day showing nice patience, allowing those blockers to get out there and open up a little space. And you can see as Day gets up, he is definitely wincing, holding that left shoulder in a lot of pain, but he'll get the Red Raider 6 here.
Trying to gut it out.
He had a great seal block, too, from Doug Franklin and company. Also on the right side, and Hogan, nice peel back block, and Day falls right in behind him for 6.
Here's the snap. The extra point is blocked and picked up by DeSoto, and they're running down the field. They're going to take the lead. Can they catch him? Aubrey will not catch him. This is going to be 2 points, and DeSoto leads by 2. Touchdown on the return from Roderick Jones. Lee had a chance to take the lead. The extra point is blocked, and DeSoto runs it back 85 yards for 2 points with 1:43 to go in a strange, must be a full moon somewhere night.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, one thing you didn't expect is have the Lee special teams field goal extra point try block, but well, I tell you what, 4 or 5 DeSoto players got in the backfield and were all over Hinesley. He had no chance whatsoever. And then an alert play, a pitch back from one DeSoto Eagle to another to open up the field and bring it back for the 2-point conversion for DeSoto.
You know what I feel sorry for right now? Jamie Lent has to talk to Mike Owens here in about 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, let's talk about special teams. We saw the Cowboys on Sunday give up an opening kickoff and a block punt in overtime, right? We've seen a negative yard punt. We've seen a blocked extra point. And
also in the second period of play, it is North Mesquite.
We've also seen it's not really special teams, but it really I guess it is, Randy, because a fake punt on 4th down allowed DeSoto to eventually score. And Hinesley now will have to kick off at his 40-yard line. So a positive ends up somewhat of a negative. It's the cut the lead to 2, I guess you could say, Randy.
Yeah.
They were down by 6. Remember, the worst part about that is Robert E. Lee gets the ball to start the second half, so they would have had a chance to have the 7-6 lead and possibly, who knows what happens here, and get the ball to start the second half. And, hey, the referee, Mr. Meeks, he is just now, he's sucking some wind. He is just now getting back to where he's supposed to be on this kickoff return. And the thing is that there were players, the ball's bouncing around and just knock it down or tackle somebody, but that's just pure speed right there. Long return for the 2-point conversion by Roderick Jones, the senior safety. Jordan Aubrey, I believe, was who was trying to catch him but just didn't have enough speed. Hinesley now will kick off from the Lee 40. Here's the pretty deep pooch kick that's going to be caught by Desoto at their 15. Now they set up a return, and here he goes again down the sideline at midfield and right before the 50. Murphy with a return out to the 44-yard line, and Ben George is the one that makes the stop. Otherwise, Murphy might still be running. Minute 37 to go in the second quarter, and DeSoto, not only do they get the blocked extra point, Randy, they also get great field position here.
Yeah, they do after a great return. Robert E. Lee scoring summary nonetheless. 4 plays, 46 yards in a minute and 2 seconds, and Day Brown with a 3-yard touchdown. But it somewhat is lessened by the extraordinary play of the DeSoto special team.
Well, if you take the lead 7-6, you kick off, you possibly force some kind of a mistake from the DeSoto offense, and you come into the halftime somehow with a lead, but now you're down 2. Minute 37 to go in the first half. DeSoto's quarterback, Ryan Polite, the sophomore. Lee has a player come on at the very last second. Patrick Howard fails to wrap up Murphy. He's going for about 2 yards. He should have lost 5. Blake Roberts came running on the field. Am I right, Randy?
Yeah, that's who it was.
As the snap was coming down, he picked up 3 yards. He was hitting the backfield for what should have been a loss of 5.
Well, Lee's defense is late getting on the field. If you think Roberts, who's out on the field every play for them, ran out at the last second. Unfortunately, Murphy was not able to turn that into a bigger play.
If there's paint on the wall in the field house, they'll have to repaint it after tonight. From the 48, he got 4. A minute to go in the half. DeSoto taking their time. Polite takes the snap. 3-step drop. Throws a deep fade to Harrell. He's down the sideline. Pass caught. Breaks a tackle inside the 15-yard line. Same play that they scored the touchdown. A straight fly pattern down to the 14, and Trey Smith not there. Just too big for him, too good for him, and a big play of 38 yards. 95 yards in the first half passing right now for Polite.
And the 2 big plays accounted for 31 and 38 of it. And Lee has to find an answer for number 5 on the wide side.
Now the clock down to 45 seconds. Polite wants to throw the fade again. Smith is there. Terrell jumps, but he's way out of bounds. And Trey is turning the wrong direction when he goes to defend the pass. Jamie, you're down there on the sideline. He's turning the wrong way.
Looks like he's losing track of the football, David, and unaware of where it's coming from. So just a situation where he needs to get his bearing on the football field. And you can see right now that Lee's changing up the defense a little bit and getting a bigger Josh Aubrey over there against Terrell.
But Trey Smith comes off the sideline. It looks like he might have taken a shot to the gut. C.J. Johnson's in. Here's Polite. Slant pattern. Knocked down by Josh Aubrey at the goal line. And Jamie, you just called it, the more physical Aubrey that time, running step for step with Terrell, who taps him on the top of the helmet. And now the play down to 30 seconds to go in the half. 8-6 DeSoto.
Now it's a big third down coming for the Lee defense. Of course, they're in 4-down territory, you would think, are the Eagles, and Lee needs to make a stop to preserve this really close game at the half.
Be a horrible kick to the gut if you're about to take the lead, and you might have actually had the lead increased against you if they score here. Under center, Polite. 3-step drop, wants to roll to his right. Terrell's in the end zone. The pass is incomplete. Intended again, and Josh Aubrey that time looks like he might have been knocked down by Terrell, but he's there to cause trouble, and it's 4th down for DeSoto with 25. Defense talks to Jay Law and Willie Williams, and the coach is down on the sideline. Jerry Reed is down there, the feisty defensive line coach. It is 4th down DeSoto at the Lee 14-yard line. They are leading Robert E. Lee by 2. They just blocked the extra point, ran it back for the 2-point lead. And the shotgun is Polite. Terrell is to the far side. Polite takes the snap. Wants to throw in the corner of the end zone. Caught. Terrell, touchdown. Backbreaker. He turned Lee defensively. Josh Aubrey around. Caught it in the end. Extra point from Eccles. His last one hit the crossbar. This one, no pressure, and he ripped it right down the middle. Oh, this is going to be a tough halftime for Robert E. Lee. They thought they had the 7-6 lead, and Randy, the lead has been increased to 2 possessions on the road, 15-6. Back in 1 minute on News Talk 600 KTBB. So DeSoto now with just 19 seconds to go in the half. Eccles, the freshman, that time he drilled the extra point. That's a really good news for the Eagles, who looked like they had, despite dominating field position and time of possession, had fallen behind, and they're up 9. Here's Eccles, a little squib kick, bounces around. Lee will down it at the 33-yard line. That's Joey Turner. And with 18 seconds to go in the half, Luke Wagner and the offense will walk back on the field after their last and only scoring drive of the first half. And that's going to be tough, Randy, on the road. This will be tough to come back, even though you get the ball to start the second half. With what we've seen in this first half, nobody can cover Terrell. May want to think about putting 2 or 3 guys on him.
Would not be a bad idea to double cover him nonetheless, but the Lee offense has to be more efficient in the second half, like they started to be late here in the first half.
That's true, but the 2 touchdowns have come on 4th downs in the passing game.
Luke Wagner.
Jamie Lent with Mike Owens.
Coach, special teams has been a problem for you guys all season long. Really hurt you here tonight.
No.
How frustrated are you with what your special teams is playing right now?
I'm really frustrated. I mean, it's obvious. That and the holding penalties and all that kind of stuff. And that really is driving me nuts. And I'm special teams and then our inability to block anybody that first series. Finally we got a little something going there late in the second quarter. And then we get a punt, an extra point block, and they return it I've never seen anybody do that.
But you do get something going late, as you just mentioned, and most of it was through the passing game. Do you guys expect to throw it around a little bit more in the second half?
Well, we're going to have to because, they got 9 in the box, so we can't run football, so we got to throw it and got to loosen them up a little, and it did. We'll run so that's what we're going to do.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. Halftime, DeSoto 15 and Robert E. Lee 6. We'll come back with the Peltier halftime report on News Talk 600 KTBB.
And then once they went to more misdirection with a little more quick hitters outside to Tate and company, then a little more misdirection to Wiley, they were able to get some more yardage or some yardage running the football, but straight up the gut's not working against that defensive line led by Clermont.
Here's the kick by Eccles, and this one looks like it will go out of bounds. The last time we thought we saw it go out of bounds, the thing stopped like a golf ball. Hit by V.J. Singer, Tiger Woods, or Phil Mickelson, and spun back towards the middle, and Darrell Tate had a very tough time getting the ball just back to the 1 foot line. We're going to ask DeSoto's Eccles, the freshman, to kick it again. When he had the chance on that extra point, Randy, he's got the leg. He's a freshman, a true freshman, obviously true freshman. All freshmen in high school are true, but he nailed the field goal. They feel like Coach Mathis, their kicking game, they were 6 of 13 this year on extra points. They missed their first one tonight, and finally they got the one when there wasn't much pressure on Eccles at the end of the first half.
So of course, you got to have timing and everything down, and I've noticed both of their snaps have been back to the back side of the holder, so he's had to reach behind to the side of his body to even make the catch to bring it around to the tee, and that throws off all the timing, even for a young kicker, or any kicker for that matter. If he's a step or two off, then all things go awry.
Well, and he kicked a couple more of these out of bounds. You started about midfield. Papa John's Pizza has delivered to our guys back in the studio. Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza, helping our guys on Friday nights. Here's Eccles again, and again this one now towards the side, but Wiley will catch it at the Lee 15-20. 25, breaks a tackle 30, out close to the 35-yard line, make it the 34, and he got pretty good field position on that. And that was a much better kick by Eccles. Eddie Moore, the senior defensive back for DeSoto, making a stop. So Lee offensively with some hit and miss, no question about it, starting this drive at their 34-yard line. And I tell you what, when they were on the road in that first possession, remember, because of the bad snap on the punt, Lee had the ball out near midfield. If you somehow do something with that, who knows? But the bottom line is you didn't. And now you're digging out of a hole, a deeper hole than you were in earlier. Wagner will take the opening snap. They'll run a little wide receiver screen to Tate. Nice catch, 35, down the sideline. Tate 40, DeSoto 35, and spun out of bounds. Tackled by Adrian White, who's got to be fast to track down Tate. Tate goes down inside the DeSoto 40 at the 39-yard line. It looked like a much longer play than that, 27 yards to start the second half, first down.
But the linesman on this side said he stepped out of bounds at the 39 instead of being rung out of bounds at the 29, so only a 27-yard gain on the pass, but a big positive move for Lee to start the second half.
Tate's got 2 catches now for 50 yards. Wagner from the DeSoto 39 in the shotgun will take the snap, delay to Dede Brown, right tackle, bounces it outside, caught from behind at the 42, and a flag at the end of the play, and that might be another horse collar. 15 yards if it's called against DeSoto. Dominic Bennett is on the tackle, and that's 15 against DeSoto. That's the second Roy Williams horse collar tackle against the Eagles, and the referee Meeks that time from the Dallas chapter throws the flag down to the 26-yard line because Dede had lost a couple of yards.
Yeah, he had, David, and the DeSoto front made him string the ball out. He's not able to cut back inside behind the tackle, and nonetheless, once he got around the corner, they had to grab him from behind, and Lee gets another big break. That's the second one, as you mentioned, against DeSoto tonight.
15 yards on the penalty, down to the DeSoto 26-yard line, 23 seconds into the third quarter, down by 9, Lee with the ball at the 26. Tate goes in motion. They run the counter to Wiley up the middle at the 15, at the 10. He will score. Touchdown. 3 plays. Robert E. Lee's back in it. They have been trying to run that, and something they may have done differently created the hole, and Chase outran the safety. 26 yards, touchdown.
Had a great hole up the middle. Give credit to Holston and Yost and Hogan to the right side as he was able to elude a couple other DeSoto defenders, but he breaks free and no one even touches him until he's 7 yards in the secondary, and he takes it home. Lee gets a big score quickly here in the second half.
Now the extra point. Hinesley with Turner, the hold at about the 10. Last one blocked for 2. Here's the snap, here's the hold, here's the kick, and this one's good. And 37 seconds into the third quarter, Robert E. Lee scores on their opening possession to cut the DeSoto lead to 15-13. Back in 1 minute on Newstalk 600 KTBB. So Lee offense, they scored in their next to the last possession of the first half. In fact, it was their last possession. They've scored on back-to-back possessions, although they took a knee at the end of the first half. Here's Hinesley with a pooch kick, and DeSoto will catch it at their 25-yard line and look for room down the sideline, but better coverage that time. And I think that might have been Hinesley, the kicker. Was it? Or was that Glasky? Making the stop, that's John Paul Camp, who, remember, had that big-time onside kick recovery in their win against Flower Mound Marcus back the last non-district game of the year. DeSoto will start at the 32-yard line. That time, Lee just had better coverage. And I'm not sure about whether there was any paint peeled off in the locker room, but that first series, Randy, pretty sharp. That was more like what we saw last week.
Yeah, David, 3 plays, 66 yards in 37 seconds, and they were aided by the horse collar penalty that got them down the field. But, a 27-yard run and another 26-yard run. And they're right down the field with the pass plays, too.
Murphy and Webb will go behind as Polite now in this series to start the second half goes under center. Takes a knee, fumbles the snap. And they have been very fortunate in recovering all 3 of the fumbles. Remember, the opening kickoff went off the face mask of a player, and they recovered. And that time, Polite picks up a yard on the fumble, and they also had a fumble earlier that they also recovered. Second down and 9. Actually, they don't give him any yardage at the 32-yard line. Polite has just the 3 carries for 4 yards. Jordan Aubrey is now the one bumping Terrell at the line of scrimmage. Back to throw, pressure. Polite runs the corner, throws it deep downfield, and it should be, Deacons had him one. Just quite. Remember now, Chris has got that broken arm or that broken finger that he is just now starting. He played without the cast last week. I think he had, Jamie, did he play with that soft cast last week? He intercepted a pass against Marcus with that same soft cast.
Now, last week he did not have the cast on, David.
Okay, well, maybe he should. Incomplete pass, 3rd down and 10. Now, this has been usually a good down for the lead defense. They're going to bump Terrell, the receiver, with Jordan Aubrey, and then Josh will double team him, but they're at least going to try to delay him off the line of scrimmage, it looks like, here in the second half. And now DeSoto wants to take a timeout. Polite, they want to run. Now Murphy near side, they don't take the timeout. Aubrey backs off, Polite back to throw, sets up, has a man wide open over the middle and incomplete. Murphy ran down the seam, Randy. It looked like he could have scored, but he underthrows him. Incomplete pass. Randy, Jamie.
Yeah, guys, you guys talked about in the halftime about how they would change their coverage on this near side with Darius Terrell and Robert E. Lee shifting both Aubrey brothers, with Josh basically playing a safety position back there and Jordan at the line of scrimmage on that play, bumping him as he came off the line. Of both Aubreys over here defending that very good wide receiver for DeSoto.
And what it also does, Randy, go ahead.
And you mentioned that. The running back comes out and he's in motion again. He doesn't leave early, but he takes off right down the seam and no one picks him up. But fortunately, Polite's coming inside towards the middle of the field and throws it short.
He also saw a different receiver that he threw to. Here's the snap to Johnson, the punter. Lee with pressure, and he gets it off. Nice punt. George with a fair catch at the Lee 36-yard line, and they get field position again. Nice job by Ben George to catch it. 31-yard punt by Johnson. And Lee will have the ball now, down by 2, 15-13. They were down 6. They scored to tie it. Extra point block return for an 8-6 DeSoto lead, and then a touchdown in the last seconds of the first half to give the Eagles a 15-6 lead. But Lee has erased that with the touchdown from Chase Wiley, who's in the backfield now. The lone setback with Day Brown on the edge to the right-hand side from the Lee 37. Wagner with Darrell Tate in motion. They give it to Darrell, tries to turn the corner, has a seam at the 35-40, leans to the 44-yard line, and picks up a nice 6 or 7 yards. Roderick Jones has played well at safety, makes the stop gain of 7.
And that's a good call to go to Darrell Tate because he has really got the jets, and if he can hit that seam quickly or get by the first couple of defenders, he will take it to the house, and I think they'll run that play a couple more times here as they have a second and manageable coming up.
Well, especially now, you busted that middle play with Chase Wiley that could at least force somebody inside to think about Wiley now, which they tried to pound him early in the first half. 2nd down and 3. Tate in motion again. They this time hand it off to Wiley up the middle, midfield, first down into DeSoto territory. Doug Franklin almost was able to get to that safety. Would have been even more. He got in the way, gain of 10, and a nice tackle from Adrian White. I'll tell you what, their safeties, White and Jones, are good, but a gain of 10 yards and a first down from Wiley.
Watching the offensive line, Holston and Martin are double-teaming Clermont, and they really just plastered him on the play and knocked him out of the way. And Wiley just goes right in behind that beautiful block up front.
Mosley, Marquise Mosley, the sophomore, 6'3", 180, splits near side. Nelson, the up back. Wiley is the tailback here. Tate is the H-back near side. They run it to Wiley up the middle, makes the first man miss, and leans for a couple of yards. Got to hold on to the football. Looked like he juggled it just a little bit. Maybe that was me. And Matkins makes the stop in a gain of just a couple of yards. Well, 2nd down and long.
They try it once again, and that time Clermont just throws his body sideways to keep getting double-teamed and is able to help make the stop with his long, big body.
Big old Anthony Nelson, the fire hydrant, checks out. Franklin will come in. Nick Harden checks out, and Day Brown's back in the game. 2nd down and 9. Lee with a play clock inside 10 seconds. And now down to 5. Under 9 minutes to go, third quarter, and trailing by 2. Play clock is at 2. They run the play action pass to Wagner, goes deep downfield to Wiley, caught, DeSoto 20, breaks a tackle, 15, 10, 5. It is the Chase Wiley show. Touchdown, 46 yards, Robert E. Lee. What a throw by Wagner, and they gave him time, Jamie.
And what an awesome block down the field by Darrell Tate as well. Wiley makes the catch, makes a cut, and it looks like he's going to be caught at the 10, but Darrell Tate comes back with a awesome block to clear out space. Lee has the lead.
And it was a wheel route that time run by Lee. The punt fake by the quarterback, the quarterback, Luke Wagner. He had plenty of time to throw the ball, and running out from the backfield goes Wiley on the wheel route for the touchdown.
19-15, Robert E. Lee and Chase Wiley. The one thing that he is so good at doing in the open field is recognizing people around him, and that time he cut back when there was somebody trailing him that was about to drag him down, and he cut it back towards the middle and scored. And as Jamie mentioned, great block downfield by Darrell Tate. A fake that, by the way, to Day Brown and Tate on that play. The defense had to worry about Brown and Tate. That time Day was just as important as Tate was as a decoy. And Lee now will set up to go for 2 with a 19-15 lead, 8:35 to go in the third quarter. So they have erased a 9-point deficit in 3 minutes and 25 seconds of this third quarter.
They've come right out with a reckless abandon too, David. I've not seen this team this fired up and this making big plays all of a sudden. Where's it come from? I think they're reaching deep down, David.
It's all about execution and paying attention. So they'll go for 2. The tight end is to the near side. Day Brown is the lone setback. Luke Wagner will run bootleg to the near side, throw back across the field, and the pass is intercepted, and they're going to score again. Luke Wagner's got to chase him down. They force him back into the inside. He's running loose now. He's going to be hit down at the Lee 35-yard line. That almost went back again for 2. A throwback, and that's just great coverage that time by Eddie, the defensive back, and Lee. What I love, Luke Wagner was not going to make the play, but his His trailing the play forced the defender to come back to the middle, and they don't score. But the extra point, no good. 19-15. Robert E. Lee by 4. 8:35 to go, third quarter, back in 60 seconds. Oh, my goodness. Robert E. Lee has scored on 2 quick possessions to start the third quarter and almost gave up another 2 points and an extra point, but they stop him short at around midfield.
That was 4 plays, 67 yards and 155, and the beautifully executed wheel route to Chase Wiley for 6, and he ran it in for the touchdown for Lee.
Desoto catches it. This is Jimerson. He's got a 92-yard kickoff return. He's back inside his 15 and dragged down at about the 20. Good job. Hinesley that time did not pooch it, and Jimerson had to run back and catch it and lost his momentum. Tackle made by Skylar Talley and also Carlos Garcia. And Desoto offensively will open this drive down now for the first time tonight. Right, Randy? They were up 6-0, tied 6-6, and before the offense came on to score, they already had the lead again on the blocked extra point that was run back. So for the first time defensively, the Lee #1 defense in the district, who's gotten gashed a little bit with that passing game, but they have not given up yardage running the football. Now Trey Smith back in, one-on-one with Terrell to the near side. 8:28 to go, third quarter. Polite from his own 22-yard line and down by 4. They'll hand it off to Murphy. Nothing there. Absolutely nothing. Taylor, Wilson, Aubrey, Monagold, Roberts, name them. They're there. Loss of 2. I didn't mention Patrick Howard as well and Simon Blaylock.
This is probably the best team against the run that you'll find in 5A football. They're right up in the top 5 or 6, you would have to think. They just have to keep covering and not give up the big pass play.
3-man rush. Murphy now goes in motion to the far side on 2nd down and 12. Polite, quick drop, throws quick pop pass, caught at the 25 and fumbled the ball. And Lee, I think, has recovered, and they have. Is that right? We're waiting for the call and the signal. They have. Junior Kane recovers the fumble on the far side, and Jamie, he tried to get extra yardage, and the Lee defense forces the fumble.
Yeah, the wide receiver on the quick catch makes a quick cut there. The Red Raiders get in and strip it away, and nice job by Kane cleaning up the mess. David, you mentioned back out the field there. That's because Josh Aubrey stayed on the sideline for that defensive possession. They're working on his leg.
Okay, well, they got away with it because they threw the other way, and they probably didn't even notice whether they were double teaming. So Lee's offense with 2 straight possessions, now, excuse me, Randy, 3 straight possessions they've scored. Take over at the Desoto 27-yard line. They get the great field position. Wagner under center. There's a confusion in the backfield, and they give it to Anthony Nelson, who rumbles, bumbles, and fumbles down to he didn't fumble, down to the 19-yard line. Didn't mean to alarm anybody, but he got 8 yards and close to a first down.
Yeah, and Lee gets that turnover they need. They already have the momentum as they're really dominating play thus far in the first 4.5, 5 minutes of this second half. Now if they can cash in and get 6, they really put the onus on the Desoto offense to make something happen again with their big play potential.
There's a lot of things you can do with the lead on both sides of the ball, and if you have a 2-possession lead defensively with as good as they are, Randy, they can start to bring blitzes and things like that. Straight eye, Wiley dots the I. Motion Tate on 2nd and 2 after 8 yards from Nelson. Here's Wiley up the middle and leans close, drags a couple of players. Look at him go! Down to the 10. First down, gain of 9. It is Chase Wiley night at DeSoto High School.
Boy, Lee's offensive line is fired up. Just a great push. Chase gets in behind the left side, behind Dunn and Martin, and they push and push, and he gets right inside the 10-yard line with a beautiful run, and Lee is in fuego.
7 minutes to go in the third quarter. It started 15-6 DeSoto. Robert E. Lee has the ball, the lead 19-15 inside the DeSoto 10-yard line. First and goal. Franklin is the H-back. Nelson is off his hip. Darrell Tate, they run the reverse. He cuts it up inside, and he got about 4 down to the 5-yard line. Right here, you play smart. You waste the clock a little bit. You try to come away with points. Vincent Eddy, the junior cornerback, makes the stop. And you have to hold on to the football. It is 2nd and goal at the DeSoto 5.
Yeah, protect the football, and giving it to Tate is really a good idea because he can break one at any time. And he only had 9 yards to go to the end zone. He got over halfway there inside the 5. Now Robert E. Lee knocking on the door again.
2nd down and goal. Patrick Howard and Glaske are both in the game. Hunter Glaske, this is what they call their Rambo formation. They line up on the edge. They flip it back to Day-Day, cuts it back inside the 5, and he got only a yard. And they just had no room that time. It's the same play they scored on to the near side down here at the end of the first half. And Dominic Bennett did what a great linebacker should do, forced Day-Day and his speed to become a physical runner inside. It's now 3rd down and goal from the 4.
Big play upcoming for Lee, you know. With the way Desoto can come at you, but trying to field goal might be kind of dicey. Let's see if they can get it in 2 plays here. If they opt to go and they can't get it in here on 3rd down.
Field goal gives you an 8-point lead.
True.
That's the thing. Rambo formation, Howard in motion, Glasky. Wiley the deep back. They roll play action. Oh, and Wagner gets sacked at the 15-yard line. No chance on that play. And they had 2 receivers in the same area, so now a longer field goal attempt from Hinesley. Boy, that's the last thing you can allow to happen other than a turnover is to lose yardage, and Terrell Williams just blew that one up. Lee was at the 5. They got it to the 4, and now Hinesley with a critical field goal attempt here. He is 1 for 3 this year. Last week, remember, had a long field goal that was short. The hold is Turner. A wide receiver will kneel at the 23. This is a 33-yard field goal attempt, and Hinesley will be the kicker. Snap. Hold, kick, up, block by Desoto. They're not getting it, or no one's blocking anybody on the edge. And Desoto blocks the field goal. The kicking game again tonight has just been, well, it's been tough. Best way to put it. And they're lucky again that doesn't block and go the other way. They've had one block, and that one was as well. And tough news now, Randy. You had a chance to take a 2-possession lead, had a chance as well to get an 8-point lead. Claude Mathis, the head coach of DeSoto's furious. He's asking for holding on the other side, and the head linesman asked him to go on the other side. He was a good 25-yard. Jamie, you're right. I said an 8-point lead would have been a touchdown lead, a 7-point lead. From the 21-yard line now, DeSoto's offense comes back in the field. Mark down that possession, Randy, because that one right there could come back to bite the Red Raiders if they're not careful. So the field goal by Hinesley is blocked from 33 yards out. They'll double Terrell again as Trey Smith will give Jordan Aubrey the first bump. Polite back to throw. Sets up, throws under pressure over the middle. Pass is almost intercepted by Dinkins. And Patrick Howard forcing Polite to throw it under pressure. That thing was underthrown, and Dinkins with nice coverage. And a DeSoto lineman limping around after that play at 2nd down and 10. Marcus Murphy was the intended receiver. They're trying to get him down the middle on a seam pattern. DeSoto's thrown 23 passes already tonight. They're a running team. Polite this time with Murphy in motion to the near side on 2nd and 10. Lee playing zone. Polite, straight drop, sideline pass, incomplete, intended for Terrell, and Jordan Aubrey was there. And they're not letting him get off the line of scrimmage now, Randy, and it's 3rd down and 10 DeSoto.
Well, that's a great coaching decision on assignment football. Of course, right now they have Smith, but they're double-teaming him. They're bringing another corner or the rover over, and they're mixing it up with either one of the Aubrey twins or both of them, and now they have Smith and one of the Aubrey twins on him now, and Jordan.
10 for 24 Polite now in this game for 108 yards, and 106 of those are to Terrell. Remember, he also had a negative yardage pass in this game earlier, so that's why Terrell's got most of the yards. Again, under center. Polite drops the snap, flips it back to Webb, tries to cut it up inside, and is going to be short of a first down at the 26-yard line. He's a little tough to handle. Austin Wilson was there. Gain of 5, but that's okay. Well short of a first down, and DeSoto forced down to possibly punt here from their 27-yard line. That's Webb's 2nd carry for 5 yards. Running the football so far, and with their speed, you never know, Randy, but DeSoto has 20 yards in total offense, 20 yards rushing yardage right now.
And right now, this is the 3rd possession of the 2nd half. They've gone 3 and out, and then a second play fumble, and now another 3 and out. They've held the ball just over a minute and a half thus far in the quarter.
Ben George is back to field the punt. Johnson, the punter, had a couple of them that have rolled back to him, and there's another one. Now he's going to run with the ball. Caught from behind and short of the first down. Jordan Aubrey, Jamie Lent got away with a horse collar, but what a great play on special teams.
Absolutely fantastic play there by Jordan. I think the reason the penalty wasn't called was because Jordan had the jersey not the back of the shoulder pads. That's the difference there, David. But the snap was low. The punter does a nice job to come away with it. And if Jordan's not there, he had lots of room on this near sideline. He may have been able to run for a first down.
The good news is Brandon Johnson, the punter, Jamie, is a middle linebacker. He wasn't a cornerback or a safety. That would have been trouble. So Robert E. Lee will send the T-gun formation in with Darrell Tate in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. He'll try to run it himself off right tackle. Breaks a tackle, 15. Leans down to the 13-yard line, and he's so quick. Broke out of the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and Aaron Rusk wraps him up at the 13-yard line and a gain of 6 yards. They're starting to get better yardage on first down. Randy, this is an opportunity. They had one earlier. You can't get too many of these on the road. If you get them, you got to take advantage of them.
You got to cash in when you can, and right now the defense has been the difference, but they came out here in the second half with a reckless abandon.
3 minutes and 9 seconds to go, third quarter. Robert E. Lee 19-15 with the ball. Shotgun, procedure, 5-yard penalty. Chase Wiley went in motion, and somebody moved on the offensive line, and the negative play in the red zone is going to cost the Red Raiders basically everything that Darrell Tate picked up on first down. First penalty, I think, of the second half against Robert E. Lee. Back to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's now second down and 9. 3 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the third quarter. I'll tell you what, Claude Mathis, the head coach at DeSoto, after that blocked field goal was a good, almost out, not quite to the hash marks on the DeSoto side. He was grabbing his arm as if he's trying to get a holding call when his team had just blocked the field goal. Tate back in that T-gun formation. When Dinkins is back there, it's called the Gator. In motion, Nelson. Tate takes the snap. He'll fake it, go up the middle, and nothing there. Got a yard, maybe a couple. Nope, he didn't get anything. They got him knocked down at the 18-yard line, and here's third down. And I tell you what, you have opportunities. You got to take advantage of them. Zachary Orr makes the stop for DeSoto, and it's third down and 9. The procedure call has busted this thing open right now.
So far, and a big third down it'll be for Lee. David, they've only had 2 conversions tonight on third down. Let's see if they can get another one, though, here right now.
Turner and Jones far side. They're on the left hash mark. Wagner will go in the shotgun. Now, DeSoto has blown up some of the coverage in the shotgun. Luke takes the snap, rolls to his right, steps up, now wants to run to his right. Throws downfield in the end zone. Pass caught out of bounds. Nice catch by Turner, but out of bounds and incomplete. Nice decision by Luke. There were a couple of defenders there. May have had an opportunity to run for the first down, and now Mike Owens has a decision with the field goal unit. The last kick was blocked. Looks like he's going to go for it here. No, he's going to send on the field goal unit. And the problem, Randy, on the kicking team has been the edges. They have been in the backfield.
Nobody's blocking on the outside, as you mentioned, and they've got to execute here to get 3.
3 points would give them a 7-point lead. You got to be careful if it is blocked that it doesn't bounce up and one of the green and gold picks it up. Snap will come to Turner. Snap is good. Low snap. Kick is up. It's long enough, and it is good. Nice job by Joe Turner, Jamie, to get it on the ground. Field goal by Judson Hinesley. Minute 54 to go, third quarter, 34 yards, 22-15. Robert E. Lee back in 1 minute on KTBB. Still a minute 54 to go in the third quarter in DeSoto. Robert E. Lee with a 22-15 lead. Here comes Hinesley with the kick. This time it's very deep. And this is Eddie back inside the 10. Looks for a seam at the 15 and out to the 25-yard line. Nice special teams tackle that time by, I believe, Skylar Talley. Was that Glasky, who makes the special teams tackle for Robert E. Lee, number 31. Nice job by Hunter Glasky. And DeSoto will start at the 27-yard line. Another thing that's changed here in this second half has been the field position, which just was absolutely dominant, where DeSoto in the first quarter ran basically every play in Lee territory but one series. Tonight in the second half, that has changed, and the Eagles are down 7. Skylar Talley is down near the bench. Here's a Polite back to throw. Pass is incomplete at the 35-yard line. Intended that time for David Porter. Nice throw, but just out of the reach of Porter, and Skylar Talley was trailing that time and forced a very good throw that's incomplete. Now Polite's in a pretty bad run of incomplete passes. Is that Hinesley, the kicker? Is that what you're saying, Greg? Who's down there? Okay, sorry about that. Looks like there's maybe a player for Lee with a cramp on the sideline. Back to throw, Polite. Here comes pressure from Taylor. They throw the fade. Trey Smith is there. Pass is caught by Terrell. He caught it and out of bounds. Trey Smith cannot defend the pass any better than that. Mike Owens thought that Terrell had jumped out of bounds. That's just a great play. That is all they have offensively, so why not do that more often, to be honest with you? That's their biggest play, and Trey Smith is right there. He just can't seem to catch the ball or catch the ball when it comes down. Boy, Terrell, he is a beast. He'll be playing on Saturday somewhere, and the thing about it is he's got a year to go here. And Terrell's jawing with the Lee sideline right now at the 43-yard line. He ought to be jawing. He's a heck of a player. Polite flips it back to Murphy. Tries to run the pitch and got about 5 yards. That's the best tough run he's made tonight. He's down inside the 40, so the lead defense, Randy, listen, you played well in this third quarter. You don't all of a sudden, you take the lead by 7. You don't want to give something back in a hurry. That's a gain of 5. Give him 6.
Well, that 30-yard pass play on the completion from Polite to Terrell, boy.
And you know what?
Huge.
It was one-on-one.
Yep.
Why they take anybody off of him right now, I wouldn't be surprised if you put 3 of them on him. Skylar Talley will bump him at the line of scrimmage. Darius Terrell splits this way. Polite fumbles the snap, and he picked up another one. Reggie Taylor was there creating problems, and a loss of a yard on second down and short, now third down and probably around 4. At the Lee 38-yard line, it's third down and 5. They have bobbled. That's the 4th snap. That's Romo luck right there, isn't it, Randy?
Yeah, it is. That was their first down of the whole second half on the pass connection a moment ago, too.
You know that this is 4-down territory, whether they get a yard or get 5 or 7 or whatever it might be, if they don't pick up the first down the way they've been throwing out 4th downs tonight. Back in motion, Murphy far side from the 38. Polite will roll to the near side. Taylor got a man wide open, and it's caught at the 20. And another receiver uncovered for a gain of 20 yards, Aaron Hyder. And if he throws it better, he scores. They are finding seams down on the edges at about the 15 or 20-yard mark. That's an 18-yard pickup, and the defense's back's against the wall again.
That's their first third down conversion of the ball game. 1 for 10 now.
At the 20-yard line, 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. In this drive, all became an issue because of the play to Terrell. They're going to let the third quarter clock run out. And to start the fourth quarter, Lee dominates the third, but now Desoto is driving to start the fourth. The offense of the Eagles has awakened. 22-15, Robert E. Lee. They start the fourth quarter. They lead DeSoto by 7 on News Talk 600 KTBB. After the timeout to end the third quarter, both teams go to their sidelines to talk to their coaches. DeSoto now with their offense, which had been stagnant in the third quarter, now feeling pretty good. And Terrell's matched one-on-one again with Trey Smith on the far side. Dinkins shades that way. Murphy will go in motion that way at the 21st and 10. Polite fumbles, stumbles, and then drops back on his butt at the 25-yard line, and a loss of 5.
The center on the play stepped on his foot after he snapped the ball, and Polite just stumbled backwards 4 or 5 yards, and they lost a good 5 yards on the play.
Second down and 15. Terrell again with Smith over there. Dinkins is kind of trying to maybe keep an eye on what's going on up here in the front 7, but also keep an eye on where Terrell is. They're just throwing, it's just a straight, he's bigger, stronger, faster fade pattern down the sideline. Snap to Polite, takes the snap, rolls to his right. Now looking for a receiver, and he's forced to go out of bounds outside the 25, and he lost 2 or 3. Matt Monagold was there, the defensive player of the week in East Texas last week, and a loss of 3 yards. That time, nice job, and Dinkins shaded him along with Junior Kane. And Josh Aubrey now comes in, and C.J. Johnson comes out on third down.
And the Lee secondary is disguising coverages, and that time Polite just wisely held the ball. He wanted to throw to the streaking inside receiver down the middle of the field in Jimerson, but he held it and went on outside. His coverage was great by Lee.
Shotgun DeSoto from their 28-yard line, third down and 18. Down by 7. Shotgun snap to Polite. Here comes pressure. Over the middle, pass is almost caught and dropped. No, it's caught. What a catch at the 15-yard line. Nice play by Marcus Murphy, and that sets up 4th and 3 now. 13 yards on the catch. That's an incredible catch by Murphy, the running back.
Yeah, he had Dinkins coming over beside him, and the ball hit both their hands at the same time, and Murphy wrestled it away.
It's 4th down.
Yep.
They have converted on 3 4th downs tonight.
3 of 6 right now.
2 of them have been touchdowns.
That's right.
From the Lee 14-yard line. 4th and 4 DeSoto. First minute and a half of the fourth quarter. Lee's up 7. They want to blitz up the middle. They do. Polite rolls to his right. Sideline pass. Incomplete. Here comes a flag at the 5-yard line. They're going to be called for defensive pass interference. And they'll get another set of downs. Boy, it looked like a pretty nice play, but we're not down there close enough. Jamie Lent might be. Jamie?
Well, it's on the far side of the field, David. It looked like pretty good coverage by Chris Dinkins, but the officials are going to say he got there a little bit too early, maybe using that free left arm in the middle of the back.
Fans from Lee are not real happy about it. But it's a first down. Remember, against Mesquite last week on a big play by Josh Aubrey. And they also called pass interference, and then Lee eventually intercepted the pass. Jay Laws talking to the line judge on the near side. And DeSoto gets a new set of downs on 4th down. That is their 4th conversion.
4 of 7.
On 4th down. They run those like they mean nothing. And when you have that success, why not, right?
Exactly.
So they're going to have, now the question is, are they going to mark it off or do they mark it where the pass interference occurred, which would have been at the 5-yard line? Meeks is the referee from the Dallas chapter. Everything's kind of gotten quiet here, and it looked like the lead defense had come up with what was a very big play, but DeSoto now gets a new set of downs. Yep, they're going to mark it out now where they're going to mark it down inside the 5. Inside the 5 to the 3-yard line.
Well, they had the ball at the 15, so that's a 12-yard penalty. That's not right, but that's where they're marking the ball.
12 yards on the penalty on the pass interference call, and now DeSoto, really even without the running game, can pretty much do what they want. Lee's got to have some negative plays. They're leading by 7, but backs against the wall. This has been an impressive drive. Low snap. Polite in trouble, dances around, scrambles, and knocked down inside the 5, got about a yard. He got a yard and lost what could have been, what appeared to be a loss back outside the 5. It's a heck of a play by the quarterback just to get back to where he did, and it's 2nd down and goal from the 3. Hakeem Holly is in the game, and Patrick Howard has come out. 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter at DeSoto. Robert E. Lee 22, DeSoto 15. DeSoto, 2nd and goal from the 4. Make it the 3. Shotgun Polite. Murphy next to him, takes the snap. They run Murphy up the middle. Leans forward for about another yard to the 2. 3rd and goal from the 2. 22-15, Robert E. Lee with a lead by 7, trying to hold on to it defensively. You got to give DeSoto credit, though, and the defense had played so well. But a couple of big passing plays and a 4th down pass interference call. And here come the Eagles from the 2. Murphy's next to Polite. Terrell man-to-man with Smith on the right side. Shotgun. Polite wants to run it. He's open. He will score. Touchdown DeSoto. An extra point away from tying it up. That's a pretty impressive drive. Despite the penalty, they made the plays to kickstart the drive.
Yeah, they did, David. And 11 plays later, they come from their own 27 down, switch quarters, and drive the ball down and had it well over 4 minutes and 11 plays, and they take it in. And a big penalty there towards the end was a help, but nonetheless, the big pass plays and their ability to cut through and 4th down did it.
Randy, pay attention. They're going for 2 while you're talking. They're trying to take the lead here. Polite in the shotgun. Same formation, this time to the far side. They run the same option play. Murphy cuts it back, runs into his own player, picked up by Lee, and the extra point is no good.
Austin Wilson makes that play.
Austin Wilson, Jamie makes the play.
He did a great job of getting penetration into the backfield and forced the quarterback to pitch that ball way where he wanted to. When he did, his defensive teammates were there to shut down the run. Great play by Austin.
22-21, Robert E. Lee and DeSoto was trying to take the lead. They've had their own problems with the kicking game, and Austin Wilson, who was the hero last week, is on the lead defense, and they cannot hold. But the offense has the ball next in 30 seconds on News Talk 600 KTVB. Fourth quarter on the road, and DeSoto will kick off from their own 40 after a very, what was much needed drive for the Eagles of Southwest Dallas.
Yeah, David, they go 11 plays, 73 yards, and 425. They fell short on the 2-point conversion.
Here's Eccles, the freshman, kicks it right down the middle. Wiley at the 10 for Robert E. Lee. Tries to come to the near side at the 15, 20. Seam up the middle at the 25, out close to the 30. A couple of players tied up at the end of that play. Hudson and Junior. I just saw John Paul Camp try to get a personal foul called by falling. He could be in the WWE, excuse me. Hey, if you can get it, right? He's having fun on the sideline. So Robert E. Lee with a 1-point lead has to maintain the ball. At the 29, the defense that time, that was a tough drive to give up, and most of that was not because of the penalty. In motion, Darrell Tate, they fake it to him. Chase Wiley up the middle, and he gets out close to the 32 for a gain of 3 yards, and second down and 7. Aaron Lusk, number 46, on tackle for the DeSoto, what do they call the Fighting Golden Eagles. Second down and 7, 8:55 to go. Chase Wiley having one of his best games ever, 15 carries, 81 yards, 26-yard touchdown run, and a 46-yard reception for a touchdown that gave them the lead. Joey Turner far side. They'll have Wiley this time on the edge, and Aaron Myers is the tailback behind Luke Wagner with Darrell Tate. They fake it to Darrell. They run the counter, and they lose 2 yards. They had never had a chance. Jeff Claremont was there. No way on that one. And Lee faces third down and long with the clock down to 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
It's going to be kind of tough to put the defense right back on the field. The offense needs to retain possession for a few first downs and get the ball down the field. A big third down upcoming.
Well, your defense is so good, and you have the lead, and you grind back, and the first thing they do to get that drive going, Randy, on that big play was the fade down the sideline to Terrell that gave them the feeling that they could score. Wagner in the shotgun, they run play action. He sets up in a nice pocket, goes deep middle, and the pass is... Ty goes to the runner, or what? What are they going to call it? They're going to call it an interception. Intercepted at midfield by Adrian White. Joey Turner, I thought, came down with the ball at the same time, and they're going to call it simultaneous, but they're going to give the play to the defense according to what the back judge called. Now he's talking to the officials, Joey Turner, and it's an interception. It looked like Turner came down at the same time, but what hurt at the end of that, though, Jamie, was that White peeled it away on the ground, and so the official may have been influenced by that.
Well, from my angle, it looked like White had the ball first. Turner does a nice job of getting his hands on it, and then they go to the turf together, and White's able to rip it away. They both definitely had it while they were standing up, but I think White was the first one to touch it. Also, he had the strength to pull it away there at the end.
But I really do think this, if Joey Turner comes out of the pile with the ball, I think the back judge then has a tougher decision to make. And you got to give White credit because he peeled it away.
Agreed.
So now DeSoto gets great field position at midfield in a game of emotional sways that just will not end with 7:41 to go in the fourth quarter. And remember now, DeSoto just scored on their last drive, on that long drive on the touchdown run from the quarterback Polite. And what now DeSoto's starting to do is Lee is obviously starting to double team Terrell, although they did not on that long pass play down the sideline, is they're starting to say, okay, we can run the quarterback option here. In the slot, Hyder. Wesley near side. Terrell being double teamed on the far side with Aubrey and Smith. Polite throws it behind the line of scrimmage. They got room at the 45. Down right there in a gain of about 5, and they're starting to do it. And I got to give the DeSoto coaching staff a little credit here. They see where they can't run the football, and so now they're going to start to get the edges. And he got down to the 46 in a gain of 4.
A little swing pass, and it was a lateral, and nonetheless they complete it and get down with a big play. And on the near side of the field, Aubrey's there with the stop.
2 catches for Murphy, second down and 6 from the Lee 46. Polite does the same thing. Murphy tries to get to the edge, and he's run out of bounds in a loss of a couple of yards. And a great play defensively by Jordan Aubrey. Austin Wilson was also in the play. Now, one thing, guys, and Randy, watch this, because they've thrown both of those passes behind the quarterback. They wonder if they could be setting up an option pass. That time a loss of 2. 171 yards passing against this defense tonight here in DeSoto. 7:27 clock stop. 22-21, Robert E. Lee with the lead. 3rd down and 7. DeSoto from the Lee 47-yard line. Snap to Polite. Straight drop. Throws sideline pass. Not much there. Lost maybe, he got a couple of yards. Jimerson on the play. And Jordan Aubrey with another tackle. 4th down and 6 at the Lee 46-yard line.
But this is the way they had it playing the whole game. They're 1 of 12 on 3rd down conversions now. Here's 4th down. They're 4 of 7. This will be their 8th try on 4th down of the night.
Got a feeling there's either going to be an incomplete pass, a pass interference call, or Darius Terrell's involved.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And if Lee defense can hold, they will have tremendous field position at their 46. 4 wideouts, Polite in the shotgun with Murphy next to him. 3-man rush for Lee. Polite takes the snap, wants to throw the screen. Incomplete! Dropped by Murphy. Monagold was there. Patrick Howard with the rush. And Lee gets the ball at the 46-yard line.
Robert E. Lee Red Raiders on their own 46-yard line.
Jamie, they wanted the rush to set up the screen, but I think Lee got a little closer than they wanted, a little bit earlier than they wanted.
Yeah, and I'll give credit to Hakeem Holly on that play, David. He kind of recognizes the screen, stays right there in the middle, waves at the football as it's going through, and I think that threw the running back off a little bit, kind of blocked out his vision of the football.
So now Lee couldn't ask for anything better after the bad field position or defensively with a bad field position after the interception. 7 minutes and 17 seconds to go at the 46-yard line. Wagner, they run a reverse. This is Aaron Myers, 45, 1st down, stays inbounds, down close to the 40-yard line. Looked like his face mask was grabbed. Gain for a 1st down. Vincent Eddy makes the stop, and Aaron Myers, Brant Martin leads the way in a 15-yard pickup. Now, Gary Fleet told me that Brant Martin on some occasions, listen to this, guys, has not called a pull for left tackle Derek Dunn. He has the option to call the pull. He loves to pull. You know, he's not the biggest guy, 5'8", 185, 190. He loves to pull, and on that occasion, he did it again. 15 yards at the 41 of DeSoto with under 7 minutes to go in the game. Lee's up by a point. Wagner under center. Straight handoff. Oh, Aaron Miles beat up in the backfield by Zachary Orr, and he did a great job to just hold on to the football. Loss of 3.
Well, as soon as he got the ball,
somebody forgot there was a guy in a green and gold jersey.
The linebacker shot the gap and untouched, and he put the lick on Aaron Myers.
He held on to the football somehow.
Yeah. Nonetheless, he held on the ball, and much to his credit.
Wow. 2nd down and 13, clock at 6:20 to go. 22-21, Robert E. Lee with a lead by 1 with the ball at the DeSoto 44. Wagner runs the stretch. Aaron Myers cuts it up the middle. Spins away, leans down close to the 40-yard line for a gain of about 4. Dominique Bennett, the senior, makes the stop, and here comes a big 3rd down and 9. Under 6 minutes to go. Lee at the DeSoto 40-yard line, 3rd down and 9.
And the clock is the ally right now, but the key is to keep and retain possession, and get down and try to score another touchdown, but nonetheless retain possession and burn that clock up.
Nick Harden is checked out for Robert E. Lee. In the backfield, Anthony Nelson and Chase Wiley. Turner and Tate far side. Tate in the slot. Left hash mark. Play clock is at 5. Wagner from the 40. Take the snap. He'll run the play to Wiley. Tries to get out in the corner, and he's going to lose and tossed down like a dish rag by Terrell Williams, who's played a heck of a game. Wiley loses 5 yards. Loses 6, and Williams threw him down like a dish rag.
Grabbed him by his shoulder pads and wrestled him down. He tried to stiff arm him, but the speedster and the linebacker came through and had none of that and just wrestled him down pretty violently.
There have been a couple of times here, and Lee will let the clock run all the way down to force DeSoto to call timeout. They're going to let it run down. There's 15 on the play clock, and they'll just let it dribble and then punt from the 46-yard line. Randy, there was the drive to start
in the 4th quarter,
the 3rd quarter.
High School and John Tyler High School still tied at 14.
Had the ball where they came away with nothing after the blocked field goal. And they had great field position here if they could have come up with, if anything, a couple of 1st downs. But now DeSoto with Terrell and Murphy against that great defensive Lee. If they can get the punt off here, DeSoto's probably going to have to drive the length of the field to try to get a field goal to win it. Or, if not that, a possible touchdown.
Well, you have to have
4:37 left.
You have to have execution on the punt try. Of course, they'll leave it in the hands of their defense, which they just got a 3-and-out a moment ago. And they come up big when they've had to. And this has really been a totally different Lee team in the second half, especially the first 6 minutes of the third quarter. They came out on fire and had the 2 quick touchdowns to take the lead, and they've held it ever since with some real heady play. And then the good field goal try by Hensley gives them this 1-point cushion. Hinsley, pardon me.
Back to punt, Brady Jones. He's had punts tonight of -2, 36, 37, and 38, so this should be 39. Snap will come, good snap, no pressure. Brady with a very nice punt. Murphy will try to let it hit, and he does. Out of bounds inside the 10. What a punt by Brady Jones. He's bounced back after that very difficult start. 37-yard punt. No return, and DeSoto will start at their 9-yard line, down by a point, 4:30 to go in the game.
Great punt.
Longview was tied with Marshall, 21-21 at halftime. Longview in the fourth quarter leads Marshall 50-21. It is the bloodletting of Class 4A.
Do you think John King said something at halftime?
Yeah.
Wake his team up?
Longview was tied
scores.
at 21 apiece with Marshall at halftime, and they have scored 29 unanswered points in the second half. And now the lead defense, Josh Aubrey will go man-to-man with Terrell on the far side with 4.5 minutes to go in the game, and DeSoto's 91 yards away from the lead or a possible opportunity if they want to kick a field goal. Polite runs play action, near side, pass, caught at the 15-yard line. Well, that ball almost knocked down by Kane. That's a good pickup on first down. Trey Smith defending, and a gain of 7 yards, second down and 3.
It'd be a perfect time for that lead defense to cause a turnover and take it in for a pick 6. This would be the ideal time because that would pretty much ice the ball game, you would think.
7 of 8. He has completed 7 of his last 8 passes. Second down and 3. Polite got out of bounds, stopped the clock with 4:23 to go, down by a point. In the shotgun from the 16. Polite, sideline, pass, caught. In front of Trey Smith, first down at the 23-yard line. Stops the clock with 4:18 to go. So they're nibbling away on the left-hand side, and now a receiver, Josh Wesley, is down, the senior. Clock will stop with 4:18 to go, and another pickup of 6 yards and a first down.
He caught the ball and sat right down on his tush, and I guess he got popped from behind. He might have just had the air knocked at him from behind the wind.
It's Wesley, his first catch of the game. Remember, he had one earlier, but dropped it. It looked like it was a touchdown early in the game. Boy, Polite came into this, headed to overtime, tied at 14 at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler. This one here, 22-21, Robert E. Lee with a 4:18 to go in the game, up by 1 defensively, trying to make a play. Roberts, Monagold, and Wilson, the linebackers, trying to cause disruption. Wilson jumps up on the defensive line of scrimmage to bring a rush. Shotgun Polite. Takes the snap, throws it off to the side. He's got Jimerson. Jimerson's knocked down after a short gain after the 25 for a gain of 2. Second down and 8.
And Monagold responds so quickly from his middle linebacker position. He comes right out. They run that lateral again off to the far side, and Monagold just gets him 2 steps after he catches the football with great speed.
You know that at some point they feel like they're going to have to throw the ball to number 5 in this drive. Second down and 8. They are nibbling on the edges. They're trying to find a way to break a tackle. If they do, they have a chance to make a big play. But what a great tackle, as you said, from Monagold. 3:27 to go. Lee up by 1. Second down and 8. Polite, snap. Rolls to his right. Now wants to set up. Now has to scramble. In trouble. Wants to run. Hitting the backfield and loses a couple of yards back to the 23-yard line. Matt Monagold was there again. So was Hakeem Holly, and so was Patrick Howard.
The pressure that time and the great coverage downfield. Polite could not find a receiver open. All channels are checked up on by the lead defense. Coverage was great on that play.
Third down and 9 at the 24-yard line. 2:53 to go in the game. 22-21, Robert E. Lee. DeSoto has 2 timeouts remaining. Polite in the shotgun. 4 receivers near side. He rolls this way. Back to throw. Pass. Caught. First down at the 32. Mo just short of the first down, or it depends on the mark now. They need the 33. He got 8 yards. It's just short of a first down. And Junior Kane, that's a dangerous throw, and what a good one it was.
Man, it was right on target, just running a simple curl, 7 to 10 yards down the field, makes the connection. If a lead defender takes 2 steps forward, he can make a pick.
Lee's got to pay attention here now defensively because it's 4th and inches. Desoto, 2 minutes to go in the game. Down by 1 at the 33-yard line. Claude Mathis, the head coach, is going to take a timeout. He's going to let it go down, and he does. So, minute 57 to go in the game. 22-21, Robert E. Lee. DeSoto just outside their 32. Randy, they need their 33.
Yeah, they do, and good time for Lee to make a stop here. The clock is really going to become a factor unless DeSoto can stretch the field with a big, long pass play. These 4- and 5-yard passes just aren't going to do it with the length of time they have to get down the field. But, of course, we probably haven't seen the end of number 5 yet tonight in Darius Terrell.
Minute 57 to go. The thing, if you're Robert E. Lee, Lee has a timeout left. So does DeSoto. If they don't get the first down, then Robert E. Lee should be able to pretty much run out the clock, although not quite that much. It all just depends, but they'd have great field position. John Tyler has taken the lead in overtime against Mesquite on a field goal, 17-14, and now Mesquite forced to at least kick a field goal to try to force a second overtime or score a touchdown to try to win it. DeSoto's back on the sideline, 4th and inches. From the 32, Polite, the quarterback, takes the snap. Oh, he got it! Reggie Taylor had him. Patrick Howard had him. Spun away, and he got the first down in a gain of 2. Wow. Oh, they had him, Randy.
Yeah, had him bunched up at the line of scrimmage. He was able to just wrestle free and spin off to the far side and roll in for a 1.5-yard gain. They're now 5 of 9 on 4th down conversions.
Unbelievable. That's an incredible stat. Minute 45 to go in the game. They get 4 new downs at the 35-yard line. Polite rolls to his right. Terrell runs a deep flag. Rolls to his right, throws, overthrows Terrell, incomplete pass. Josh Aubrey defending. Terrell ran a long out pattern and came all the way back to try to make the catch, and it was over his head. John Tyler has just blocked a Mesquite field goal to win another thriller. JT 17, Mesquite 14 in overtime. The Lions have won 5 in a row. Minute 35 to go here. Polite with an incomplete pass at 2nd down and 10. JT has won now in the last seconds against Ryder, overtime against Louisville, and they blocked one in overtime against Mesquite. 5 straight for Derek Rush. 2nd down and 10 here. Back to throw, Polite, rolls to his right, throws sideline, pass incomplete off the hands of Terrell, and Josh Aubrey went for the pick that time. Enough to bobble the 3rd down and 10.
He had backside help coming from Austin Wilson and 1 or 2 other parties. He decided to make the stab for it, but it was really high up in the air where only Terrell could get to it. He bobbles it as he tries to wrestle it down, and another big 3rd down upcoming.
3rd down and 10. It's almost like DeSoto goes, let's just get straight to 4th
down.
down.
This is their 14th 3rd down try. They're 1 of 13 on 3rd down conversions.
Minute 31 to go. 3rd and 10. DeSoto at their 35-yard line, down by 1. From the 35, 3-man rush. Polite low snap, picks it up, hit, sack! Patrick Howard! He went in untouched, sacked at the 27-yard line. Loss of 8 yards, another 4th down coming up. Oh, that was as big-time blue chip as you can get right there.
Indeed it was, and Howard just fought through it. It looks like there he's calling another timeout. He's going to have to. And Lee now another 4th down there. There'll be the 10th 4th down try of the night. I've never seen as many as 5 or 6 in a game by any team. This will be the 10th try at 4th down for DeSoto on the evening.
And it's 4th down. DeSoto is at their 27-yard line.
18 yards to go.
Need the 45, 1:19 to go. So if they don't make it, the game, if you take a knee a couple of times because they're out of timeouts, would be over. DeSoto now, they have been throwing a couple of passes behind the line of scrimmage to a running back or 2. And you still wonder if they're going to try to maybe do something with a trick play. Terrell, Darius Terrell, the man tonight for DeSoto. 6'3", 208-pound junior receiver. has caught 2 touchdowns and 136 yards tonight. You know he's got to be involved somehow. Lee with 8 defensive backs. Aubrey will bump Terrell at the line of scrimmage. Polite with a low snap. In pressure. Steps up. Going deep. He's got a man open. Caught! Caught! At the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Desoto. Oh my goodness, he went deep. Bobbled it in the air. 73 yards. Touchdown. Josh Aubrey was in the secondary. 4th and 18, they went for a bundle. Unbelievable. What an unbelievable play by the DeSoto Eagles to take the lead. That was the perfect throw. He came free in the secondary. The ball bounced off his chest, bounced up in the air, and Jamie, he almost dropped it. But he didn't, and then scored. Backbreaker, gut-wrenching, 73 yards.
Well, terrific concentration on the football there, David, to tip it and then pull it in. But a great play call there with everybody on Robert E. Lee knowing the ball was going to go to their big man, Darius Terrell. They go to the running back out of the backfield. Beautiful pass there. Great catch. Great finish as well. A huge answer by this DeSoto offense.
And the thing that you got to remember, they're going to go for 2. It's 27-22. A 2-point conversion gives DeSoto a 7-point lead, and Lee only has 1:07 to go. Their quarterback, the sophomore, has thrown for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns. He rolls to the near side, goes for 2, pass, bobbled in the end zone and incomplete. So Lee's going to have to score a touchdown, and for a defense as good as theirs has been, they have been shredded tonight in the passing game. 73 yards on 4th and 17, Randy.
That was huge.
How do you let somebody get behind you on 4th and 17? Because even if they get 15 or 18 on a pass and they run for 5 or 6, they still haven't scored. He was wide open. Great throw by Polite.
Beautiful throw and 3 long touchdown passes on 4th down. And I believe the one he scored is 2-yard run. They have scored all 4 of their touchdowns on 4th down plays. They're 6 of 10 tonight.
You know what? For those of you just now joining the broadcast, on their first score of the night, a 31-yard pass to Terrell on 4th down. They scored again at the end of the first half on a 4th down play to Terrell. They scored here earlier in this quarter when Lee had taken the lead by 7. They scored on 4th down on the running play from the quarterback, Polite. And then on 4th and 18, you can give up the first down, Randy. You cannot give up more than the first down. Even if you give up 25, they still got to go down and score. And the Lee team now, how do you bounce back from that? Oh, my goodness. What an incredible call, though, by the DeSoto coaching staff to go for the jugular. 1:07 to go, and Lee is down 27-22. JT has won their game in overtime. They kicked a field goal, then blocked a Mesquite field goal to win it. They're 5-2. And if Lee doesn't win here, DeSoto and JT will be tied for the district lead. Whoever wins here tonight is tied with John Tyler for the district lead. Here comes the kickoff by the freshman Eccles. It's a deep kick. Wiley will field at the 5, at the 10, at the 15. Cuts outside of the 20 and outside to the 32-yard line. Clock runs down to 59 seconds to go. Lee will have to have a big play coming out of this one. Oh, that's just gut-wrenching if you're Robert E. Lee defensively. What a throw by Polite. This kid's a sophomore, and they didn't throw to Darius Terrell. They used him as a decoy, the way Lee did with Darrell Tate earlier tonight.
That was a key, huge play. That was a 91-yard drive in 10 plays in 3:23, and the 73-yard bomb.
And remember the 4th down quarterback sneak where they had him, and he just did a great job of slipping away and picking it up. Luke Wagner from the 32. Lee only has the 1 timeout remaining. Here comes pressure up the middle. One thing you cannot have is a negative play. Luke steps up, now rolls, now wants to run. First down 40, out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Very nicely done. Out to the 46-yard line, a gain of 13 yards and a first down from Luke Wagner. And the best thing is, Randy, he got out of bounds.
He got out of bounds. He didn't take a sack. He was very, very methodical and very smart and very wise. And headed right for the sideline marker after he picked up the first down.
So if you're listening now, the score, DeSoto 27, Robert E. Lee 22 with 50 seconds to go, and Lee at their 46-yard line. They just gave up a 4th down and 18, 73-yard touchdown. Wagner back to throw, deep sideline to Tate. He wouldn't have picked up much more than 3 or 4. Out of bounds, incomplete, 2nd down. And DeSoto had a player coming on late to get on the play involved in that particular play, 2nd down.
Where you're going to have to work yourself down the field. There's enough time for 7 or 8 plays if you call them right, but they need to get more than 4 or 5 yards on the completion, though.
46-yard line, and you got to try to get out of bounds or a 1st down to try to stop the clock. Marquise Mosley, the sophomore. Darrell Tate in the slot. K.J. Jones near side, and Joey Turner in the slot. Day Brown next to Wagner in the shotgun. Luke sets up, pressured, now rolls near side, throws downfield, intercepted, ball game. Eddie with his 2nd interception, and this one is over. DeSoto goes to 2-0, beating Lee in a miracle in the 4th quarter. And Wagner is down at the end of the play. At the 45-yard line, Luke Wagner is down. 38 seconds to go, and DeSoto has pulled off the miracle tonight to beat Robert E. Lee on the 73-yard bomb on 4th and 18. What a comeback for Claude Mathis and his Eagles.
Next Friday, they will host Mesquite's John Horn.
27-22, DeSoto's up 5.
Again at 7:30 in Rose.
Next week, Robert E. Lee will host Mesquite Horn. Mesquite Horn right now leading North Mesquite 39-28 with 3 minutes to go. That game I said earlier was at Memorial. That game is in Hanby tonight.
Well, I tell you what, Wagner tried to make something happen. He just did not see the DB cutting in front of his pass attempt. He tried to throw it low where only the receiver could get to it, but he gets nailed as soon as he does throw it. And they have his
4th and 18 from their 27-yard line. They hit the monster. 73 yards. They take a knee, and DeSoto may not have to run another play. And the Eagles, after going 1-4 in the non-district, are now 2-0 in district play. Robert E. Lee drops to 1-1, and DeSoto and John Tyler will be a top 11 5A with their wins tonight. Quarterback Polite will have to take a knee one more time. And Randy, as much as last week had Mesquite scored at the end, that would have been gut-wrenching. This is 10 times worse because of how this thing ended on 4th down. Take a knee, and that's the ball game. DeSoto 27, Robert E. Lee 22. Final. Lee drops to 3-4 on the year, and they drop to 1-1 in the district. They'll host Mesquite Horn next week. DeSoto goes to 3-4 and 2-0 in district play. Mike Owens and the Lee coaching staff will shake hands with those from DeSoto, and Jamie Lent will talk to Mike here in just a moment. Red Raiders now drop to 1-2 overall against DeSoto in the series, splitting back in the mid-90s in 96 and 97, losing here tonight. It has to be as gut-wrenching that I've seen in a long time. 27-22 is the final here at Eagle Stadium. Lee back home against Horn next week. Jamie.
All right, Coach Owens, obviously a difficult finish to this one tonight. You guys played well, took the lead in the 2nd half, but couldn't finish it off. What did you see as the difference of the game tonight?
Well, there's no and that's just, there's just no excuse for it. I mean, I don't have any. It was, we got the ball one. All we got to do is 4th down and forever. And we didn't make the play. They made the play and we didn't. I congratulate them.
You guys really struggled in the 1st half, played much better in the 2nd half. Are you pleased at least the way you guys have bounced back?
Oh, I'm pleased with the way we played in the 2nd half, but we just, we can't give up big plays, and that's just the way it is, and we got to make some more on offense.
Obviously, this is very disappointing for your ball club as well. What do you say to them here tonight?
Well, we got 3 games left. We need to bounce back and play, and that's what we're going to do. We got, 2 or 3 pretty good football teams ahead of us, and if we can't bounce back, we're in trouble.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay.